What's up, everybody out there in the Two Bros with Benefits land? This is episode
Seven.
episode seven of Two
Oh,
Bros
yeah.
with Benefits. We are your co-hosts. I'm Jake,
And I'm Kevin.
and every time we say that, I always think of the old SNL skit with Dana Carvey, like "We are here to pump you up." I don't know why, but anyways,
I don't know why either.
Yeah. It's just the way my crazy brain works. But you guys stick around, and another great show. Got a lot of kind of interesting topics. Not like a whole lot, I feel like, going on as far as like stuff that we'd really want to talk about on the show. That's not like political, but we did find some really interesting stuff to talk about, and I think it'll be kind of cool to get our special guests' perspective on these topics. And then, of course, we got some spitfire questions. We put them in the hot seat, and we'll ask them some random wacky questions. But
and get them
stick
canceled,
around, guys. Yeah, that's our main goal, is try to get them canceled. Or we'll take out the canceled part in editing, but we'll know in the back of our minds. Yeah, we could have got them canceled. So anyway, stick around. We got a great guest, another friend, somebody that we've known. In the future, it could be him and another. In the future. Anyway, stick around, guys. We got a great show.
All
See
right.
you.
Two Bros with Benefits. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right.
What up, guys? Welcome to episode 7. We figured it out. It was episode 7 of Two Bros with Benefits.
Damn
We're
right.
your co-hosts. I'm Jake.
I'm Kevin.
And then blacked out over here with the Two Bros with Benefits logo, we have our special guest that you don't know yet. First off, we'll kind of get into our contest winners.
Yeah, you always say contestant.
It's not a contestant. It's a contest. But I said it right this time. I said contest winners.
You did.
Thank you.
So last week we asked the question based off of our episode with our brother Matt. We asked for people to name one item that he had on his rider for us before we were able to record with him. We actually didn't get any responses, so that either means everybody knows and they just didn't want to steal. They just didn't want to get the cool swagger, or nobody listens.
So we don't have listeners. Our 5 or 6 listeners they've already
gotten the swag.
Won their prizes.
On that note, too, if you haven't gotten it yet, you will be getting it soon. We are getting some stuff mailed out, hopefully by the end of this week. So be looking for it. It's really awesome. You're gonna love it.
We'll just roll it over. We'll roll the prizes over. This next one, you'll get double.
Yep. There you go. And then we're also going to ask. So we'll go ahead. No, we'll do that at the end, won't we? We'll ask the question at the end.
But just stay tuned, and at the end, you can comment or email us at twobroswithbenefits@gmail.com. Throw in your answer. It's as simple as that. We'll ask a really easy one this time.
We'll see.
Something. If you watched it, you should know.
It might be easy,
right?
Don't give it away.
But that's how it goes.
So and we mentioned we do have another one of our great friends on with us today. He is another bro of ours, has been for quite some time. I've known this individual since we were in high school. We didn't really hang out a whole lot in high school. We started hanging out more after I started hanging out with Jake a lot more, and this guy would always be around, and we just kind of kept keeping him around, I guess. And, sometimes I'd be like, get the fuck out of my house. And sometimes I would be glad that he was there. No, I'm joking. He's awesome. Jake knows him a lot better than I do. So I'll let him kind of introduce him a little bit as well.
I mean, there's not much to say. I've known him for most of my life since, kindergarten.
But there's not much to say.
And before,
there's not much to say.
There isn't much to say. This guy's a best friend of ours. He is a bro. He's also a bro.
In-law.
And could join this podcast as 3 bros if you wanted to, because he is our in-law. It seems like all my good friends, they all, found one of my sisters because they're good people. and my friends are good people as well, and they all linked up, and now we're all one big happy family, so we get to stay in each other's lives, which I love. So coming
I
all the
think
way,
Jake's tried to start a cult basically with all his
basically,
friends joining his
yeah.
family.
They don't know,
They're
but
like,
it
yeah,
really is my mastermind
it
plan.
was his plan to get a cult together.
Yeah, it's my long goal manipulation, and it's working well. But we'll go ahead and introduce him, coming all the way from Colorado. I can't remember the name of his city. Love something, right outside
He
of
can tell us.
Denver, is Josh Kern. Welcome.
Woohoo! What
Hey,
happened?
there he is.
What's up, guys?
What up?
I
What is?
definitely expected a little more needling than that. That was a little nice. I don't
Oh, let's
know.
start over. Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
Any needles?
No, it
We
was
like to.
funny.
Another fun fact about Josh, he is, other than me and Jake, he is featured in every single episode of our podcast. He's in the Let's Get Weird song along with myself that OJ Jackson recorded probably 10, 20, 15 years ago, something like that.
Little cameo.
And
Yeah.
everybody's talked about, is that Kern? Is that Kern? Every episode I've heard somebody say that. Yeah, so he's the first guest that we've had on that has actually been in every episode already.
What were
Yes,
you going to
sir.
say, Kern? If you remember.
I was just gonna say it's funny, Kevin, because you said we didn't really hang out in high school, but neither did me and Jake. We just
Oh,
like
yeah?
like we talked and stuff. We were friendly, and I mean I've known Jake since kindergarten. But it was actually after high school
Yeah, that we got really
when
tight.
we started hanging out like daily and became best friends.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and Jake and I hung out quite a bit in high school. I mean, we were in the same homeroom, and all of us, I feel like our whole class was cool. We all just hung out with everyone in a sense. Obviously,
Yeah.
you had your cliques, I guess you could say, of people, but everybody was always at the same parties, and everybody was
Right.
always cool
Yeah.
with
I
each
will
other.
say, yeah, even my parents have always said, like, one of our class, like around that era, 2004 era, was like kind of the end of where everybody, it didn't matter what clique you were in, we weren't really cliquey. Everybody could hang out with everybody. The smart people could hang out with the jocks, could hang out with the popular people. And I mean, I even remember like the graduation parties and stuff. Everybody was more than welcome. It wasn't like people were getting discriminated. Not like you have now. Now it's just so cliquey and there's a lot of hate out there. But
yeah, I
sure
think we were one of the
had a
better
lot to do with that.
classes.
Yeah.
I think we were one of the better classes. Because I hear the same thing you're talking about all the time too. Like, I've got 2 older siblings. My parents have always noticed that. They're like, yeah, your class is, way different. You're still friends with 30% of the people that you went to school with.
Right.
So that's kind of crazy.
I love that we still all, there's a lot of us that still keep in touch. It's crazy too, because I moved to Michigan and I'm not the most social person, but when we moved to
Right.
Michigan, I made a bunch of friends just from waiting tables, and I still talk to 4 or 5 of them all the time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's awesome.
I feel lucky because it's weird when you meet people that don't have. No, it's not weird. It's just it's kind of weird to think about not having people that I've known that long. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
It's like you meet new people, and there's always like little reservations on whether or not, or how trustworthy they are, and
They're gonna stick around. Yeah.
and and with me, I don't act the same around new people as I do around people I've known my whole life. So
Right.
it's just I couldn't.
When I say a lot of your friends and our friends, are just like groups of friends, is I think what makes good friends is like you don't have to talk to them all the time. You can go 6 months, not saying anything, but you run into each other and you can pick up where you left off, and it's nobody's holding animosity. Like, why haven't you reached out to me? You know what I mean? That's like stuff's for high school.
Everybody's got lives now, everybody has other shit going on. You can't go out every fucking Wednesday night and go get drunk or do whatever. Like, we just can't do it.
Well, and I'll say one more thing on top of that. Like with Josh, he's in Colorado, and even whenever I lived in Michigan with him, that's the thing, is like him and like even my brother, whenever they come home, they're getting played tug of war with by everybody.
Yeah.
They have a pretty busy schedule. So like, I think that's one thing that people like should have like realize is like they want to see everybody. It's just not physically possible. So that's why whenever he does come in town, I always let him know, hey man, do the things that you need to do. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be here, I'll see you, at the end of the night or whatever, And I think that that's something that some people, they're like, oh, I wouldn't say selfish, but they get their feelings hurt if they don't get seen. And that's just, I don't know. That's something that I just don't care about. I'm so introverted anyways. I don't care anyways. You know what I mean? I'm a hermit.
Yeah. But, it's completely understandable on my end too. I mean, it's the same way with John. Whenever he comes back in town, it's like, bro, I know you're here to see your family. Obviously you consider us family too. And I get that, but you got to do what you got to do with them. And then whenever it works for you, let us know and we'll get some people together,
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
But anyways, all you listeners and viewers out there, some good life lessons. Listen to what we have to say. Be a good friend. Don't be selfish.
Yeah,
Selfish
Jake. To add
asshole.
on to our friend group, I guess you could say, I've had people outside of our friend group that are friends of ours now that have said, "Man, you guys it's weird. Like your group is so tight. All you guys will do anything for anybody,
Yeah.
and that's not like my other group of friends. I've had multiple people tell me that, and it's just natural to me. Like it's not like I don't think about that because those are just my friends, right? So
Yeah.
other people, like we're lucky, is what I'm getting at. We're lucky to have
for sure.
as good of a group of friends as we do.
Yeah,
I agree.
most definitely.
Yeah, I agree. I miss all my friends, honestly. Like, Michigan wasn't as different because I made so many friends, but out here I don't wait tables out here, and neither of us do. So
It's harder to
I
make
don't. I
friends.
mean, it's like me and my family out here, but I don't know. It's weird. I miss having you guys over or like going
No, I
over
mean,
your
I get it.
house. We
for sure.
we could watch the fights together and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I think about
No, I
coming
get
back
that.
all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
even whenever I was in Michigan with you all, or I would never say, I got homesick, but I did start missing, like, it's like I don't have any friends. But then, like, what was great was you were already established and you kind of like introduced me to all your friends, like Sean and
yeah, that was
some of the other
awesome when you
guys. And
came up there.
yeah. And I mean, I talk to Sean still every once in a while on Snapchat, and it's just,
Yeah,
so it was
I
really
talked to him
nice
all
to
the time.
have you. It would be scary to do it like how you and Devin, you're out there and you're just kind of on your own, but I commend you for
I'm
that.
mad I never visited you guys when you were up there. It was right around, the time Aiden was born, and we didn't really do much of anything. But I always wanted to go up there. I always was jealous, like when, John and other people went up there to visit you guys and hang out. It sounded like a lot of fun. I wish I would have been able to go at one point. But Jake, you were only there for what, like 8 months or so? Maybe a year?
Like that.
Yeah, it was like right at a year.
Wait,
Yeah.
John
Maybe
went
not
up?
even a year. Yeah, do you remember
John
John
visited
and
Jake one time.
John and
Chuck,
Chuck
right?
came
Oh,
and
Chuck.
stayed
Oh,
with.
yeah. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I remember.
Remember John
Delilah.
wore the mullet and went into
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
barbershop
yeah.
and he said, "Hey, how much for a trim?"
Oh, my God. Did he do that on the like the main or the
Yeah, he did
barbershop
it
over
on
by the
like,
burrito store?
yeah. No, he did
Did,
it. He did it on over on campus by like oh gosh, what where like the park is, where the gold M is that everybody protects and shit.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's funny.
there's like salons.
He's easy to
everywhere.
talk into doing shit whenever he gets drunk, man. It's always fun whenever he gets drunk.
Yeah.
I love instigating shit, especially with him and Chuck. I'm always like, John, there's no way that you can beat Chuck in a wrestling match. There's no way. That starts it, and he just, I mean, that and it goes on all night until they finally
John
wrestle
would
each other.
destroy Chuck in a wrestling match.
I don't know,
know.
man. I don't think he could.
John's
John's
a
big
good
now.
wrestler?
Yeah, John's a great wrestler.
John,
It'd be
yeah,
I
John's
remember
tough.
John in high school. Dude, I remember going to a wrestling match in high school once. I'd never been. And I didn't give a shit about wrestling, but I remember getting so fired up. Like,
it's
I think
fun.
like Clint Hoppy went out there and slammed somebody and pinned him. And I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
This is
It's
awesome.
fun.
That's probably, like, I should have known then that I was a UFC fan. I had no idea.
Yeah, like, what am I missing out on
For
here?
another 15 years, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's
I
funny
wish,
that you say that.
I wish I had gotten into some kind of wrestling or something when I was young.
Yeah.
Just
Or
Yeah,
like
I'm always
boxing.
mad. I'm always mad at myself for once I got to high school not playing more sports, man. Like I played every sport growing up other than wrestling. But I quit baseball when I was in like sixth or seventh grade. I stopped playing baseball. I stopped playing football. I stuck with basketball. I wish I would have played a little bit more when I was in there. That's all I really did.
Well, when
So
well,
you're in high school, you want to socialize a little more and stuff. There's nothing wrong with
yeah,
well,
that.
high school
sure.
is like a different, high school is like, when you're in eighth grade, you got your class, and then you get to high school, all those classes combined, and now there's a lot of competition. It's much more intimidating, and
Yeah,
I
for
didn't play a
Yeah.
sure.
single sport when I went to high school, but I
You
remember
went
in
to St. Ben's though. You guys were terrible at sports.
yeah, except for sixth grade when we won the championship in Little League baseball.
Yeah, that's right.
Jake, you
You
you weren't
did.
on that team. I think you're at
No.
East. Uh,
Yeah.
but that was the most fun
Was it
year
was it
I've
the
ever had
Little
playing any
People
sport.
World
Did
Series
you
or the Little League World Series?
It
did,
was like
did you
wait, what'd you say?
Was it a League of Little People? Was that what it was? The Little People World
They're like
Series?
dwarves, yeah. Well, no, it's
Yeah.
just skinny people like me. There's only
Yeah.
skinny people. No, but it was like me and I remember Clint Hoppy and Adam
Poppy?
Pitt, Aaron Schmidt, the whole class, except for like Jake Grant and Casey because they were all too cool and played at East.
hmm
Even Eric Elliott was on the team, and we took first. I remember we beat Highland for the championship. It was
Didn't you
intense.
almost crack a homer or something like
Wow.
that? Didn't you?
Do you still
Did
have
you?
that trophy?
Somebody cracked a homer.
I
He's
never
got
hit
it
a home
hanging
run
up.
in a real game
No.
before.
No.
I was gonna
What?
say I was hoping he has it like right behind him or something.
Yeah,
Oh,
that'd be
what
awesome.
the
The trophy.
No, I don't have that trophy anymore, but
He's got. I know what trophy he's gonna whip out.
I meant to
This is a
put
good
this
one.
on display because I'm
It's
still
a
the
Yeah.
belt.
reigning champ
Oh hell yeah!
I
of
know we never done
Mike's
it again.
farewell tour poker
You know,
tournament.
it's
That's
funny you
awesome.
bring that up because Kern, I want to at some point. Jake and I were just bullshitting about stuff to talk about, and I was like, man, Kern still is an amazing poker player. And are you comfortable talking about whenever you used to play online? Like, weren't you like number one in the state at one point in time?
In
Like the
in the
online poker?
state. You hear that, Jake? In the
That's
state.
funny.
No,
He
you
won state
were
champ.
ranked pretty
In the
high though,
state.
right?
I was ranked in 2010, I was ranked number 2 in the whole world for now it's a very specific ranking,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But in $26 sit and goes, I'm sorry, $26 45-man sit and goes on full tilt poker, I was ranked second in the world in total profit for 2010.
That's badass. I
That's
remember that.
awesome.
But
Yeah, I was actually
you know,
talking today to somebody about that. I was like, dude, he still is a very good poker player.
I was grinding hard. I had no life, and it wasn't always the most fun. And then I say second in the world in total profit. Now that could be anything. The first place in profit could have had $5,000.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was more.
Yeah.
It was well more than that, but it wasn't. I wasn't rich. I was making great money for being a college
Yeah.
student and not having a job. But
Was that the year that you cracked? You got like fourth, and then you're like, I'm gonna win this, and like 2 years later, or 2 weeks later, you ended up cracking the whole thing, and
no,
got
that was
first. That was later on.
2017.
Okay, gotcha.
That was
later on.
So 2017, the year that we moved to Colorado, we were still staying with Jeff.
That's
I
right.
didn't even have a job yet. I mean, we had been here for just a few months, and the first month that we moved, I mean, we were in Colorado, felt like I was on vacation, and
Freshly out
I had
there.
some savings, so I wasn't rushing to get a job. So I was playing online and went on a real good run, and like I was winning a lot. It was like this is the best run I've ever been on. And then to cap this run off, after about 3 months, Jake, you remember almost correctly, but I took 7th in
7th.
this big tournament.
I remember this
It
too.
was big. It took 7th, and that was my at the time that was my biggest cash. And then 7 days later, exactly 1 week later, when the tournament ran again, I won the same tournament.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I remember getting a call from you or a text from you the
Yeah.
night that you won it, and you were like, I was like, what? That's
Dude,
amazing.
I don't think
I
I
remember
slept
that.
till the next morning. I was so
Cloud
fired up.
9.
Yeah.
And for all you
I also remember back then, like when you lived here and you lived right next to his parents, here in Evansville. I remember going over there one night before we were going to go do something, and it was just me, and I was watching you play on like 3 screens of poker, and I was like, how the fuck do you do
you had like
this?
16
Like
games going.
my anxiety would be like all over the damn place,
Yeah.
and you were just clicking, going to the next screen. I'm like, how do you do this?
The
It was
anxiety
crazy.
was all over the place sometimes. But
Get down. I was going to say for all you listeners out there that might not have seen, Josh pulled out a trophy. It was a poker trophy. He won a big tournament after our buddy passed away, Michael Erdman. We had a big fundraiser for him, and one of the things we did was a big poker tournament, and Josh ended up winning with the whole dang thing. That was a fun night.
Remember Paul? It wasn't
Yeah.
against Paul towards the end. Paul like had the big chips, and he thought he was a big
Paul was
dog,
taking
and
it.
we knew that he wasn't going to win.
he got John, remember? And we were all
Yeah, but
accusing John.
He got
that
John
was the
with,
win,
like,
really.
queen high.
Yeah.
Popped
That was
John,
the
like,
win,
queen
getting
high.
John.
I mean, John made a great bluff, and Paul just called anyway and had him beat. Yeah, that was great. That was so much fun. We raised like $3,000 for Mike's family.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
awesome. I remember
That
a
was
lot
a
of
good
people
time.
pitched in. Like Adam had some stuff that he pitched in from the
Axe throwing.
axe throwing place, and
Yeah.
People
I
brought
feel
their
like Casey and Nathan Hoffman, they all threw stuff in, and that was cool.
Yeah, that was a good
we had
time.
we had some alcohol and stuff to. We
Well,
auctioned
sure.
everything off. Remember, it was great.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We got
We had
hooked up
so
from
many-
Frontier too.
So many games going on. We had like a half pot, and then Michael ended up winning it, I think, and he ended up just giving it all. Mike Whitehead.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah.
did.
Which was
Yeah,
awesome,
Whitehead.
awesome generous of him. And then
Yeah, I won something. I don't remember what I won, but then I won 2 more drawings after that and just put it back. Let's get
Mhm.
someone else in there. And then
Well,
I donated
and-
the poker winnings
Go ahead.
too.
yeah, your poker winnings you donated as well, which was awesome.
Isn't it
Uh,
sad, but
stand-up
also
guy.
really funny how much we all love to see John Brandt get beaten something? Isn't that
Yeah.
isn't that sad? Like I love it. It really like gives me joy
Yeah,
whenever
that
he gets
night
beaten something.
I will give him kudos. That night, normally he's, it's fun to see him lose because he gets a little riled up. But that night, I think he was just mostly flabbergasted and he was a good
Yeah,
sport
that he
about
got
it.
beat.
You can't even be mad at that. You know,
Yeah.
you got to be
Yeah.
happy. It's almost like you got to be happy that someone that doesn't usually play won, because maybe that'll give them the itch to keep playing, and now you have a new poker
Right.
player on the field.
Yeah, true.
But
Yeah.
John doesn't care because John does very well himself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I would even say that John is better at the game he plays than I am at the game I play. And I'm not joking. John's a really good
Yeah.
poker
John
player.
is really good, and he's out.
I don't
in
like going
Vegas,
against
and he
him.
does it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
For him now, I think it's just
I mean,
a matter of finding time.
yeah.
right. Well,
But
yeah.
I will say, it is like we were saying. It's fun to see John. For all you listeners out there, our buddy John, it's fun. We love to see him lose because he gets riled up. He'll lock us out of the house.
Dude, we could talk for days about the shit
Yeah.
that John like. Every time whenever I used to live in the apartments over by Holy Rosary, we'd go over and play horse at Holy Rosary. And I remember one time I beat him like 3 times in a row, and he goes, "Championships are won in best of
Yeah.
7." So I
That's
had to
his
beat him
famous
best of
saying.
7. And then he was so pissed off that I got in my car and I drove off, and I made him walk back to the apartment, which wasn't that far, but it was just fun. And then he kicked the door down at my house on Weinbach because I beat him in bags, and he walked off with the bags like a little baby, and he kicked the door.
Took him.
What a moron!
Well, we
love you, John.
About this forever, but
Fucking idiot.
love you, John. But one thing I was wanting to bring up is, I'll bring this up first, and then.
Can you guys hear that fan?
Nope.
No, you're good. I had my fan on,
Nice.
but I took it off because I thought maybe it might help with my vocals. But one big thing that me and Josh and even Kevin, used to be a big part of, he'd come and participate or at least watch us, is, you've heard us talk in the past about, pranks that we've pulled on each other. And one thing we used to do is we used to be really good.
I gotta tell him about the best one that we remembered the other day, Jake. We gotta tell him. Finish what
Ooh,
you were saying.
yeah.
Oh gosh. Oh yeah. So, but anyways, yeah, we
Jake
pulled
shared that
lots
with
of
me
pranks.
too.
And one thing that we did a lot of phone calls, and we've had so many great ones. We would call people like on this is when Craigslist was still a thing, and we'd call people that were like selling rock CDs, and we'd call them and pretend like we'd be like, hey, we're calling about the rocks. What kind you
heavy
got?
rocks.
To be fair, we kind of, I don't want to say stole, but we got a lot of inspiration from Ed Bassmaster's old prank calls.
Yeah, he is our inspiration.
Yeah, I'll get you my number. Let me get a pen. That's the Ed Bassmaster.
Yeah, that shit was so funny.
Hey,
Josh, did I tell you I saw him recently? He was in Evansville last year, and me and Hare and okay, I can remember if I told you. It was awesome.
I think you had pictures or a video or something.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Actually, Cole Deisher sent me a text, and I think it may have been today. I'm going to look, and he said, dude, you're not going to believe this. It was actually yesterday. You're not going to believe this, but his girlfriend's dad's in a rock band, and one of the members brought in all of his gear, and he had a big heavy rock, and he thought it was the most funniest thing in the world because of that.
That is hilarious.
That's right.
It's like their mascot.
That's how we used to spend so many evenings. We would not have anything else going on, and we would just, you guys more than me, but you would sit around and just go through Craigslist and call people.
People would be
I also
selling,
was reminded of this today. Go ahead.
People would
sorry.
be selling like their Canon cameras, and we'd call and pretend like we were trying to buy a Canon, like an actual Canon. And then whenever they were like, no, it's a camera, we'd be like,
lenses.
Yeah, what? We're going to come over there and kick someone's neck off for false advertising. I'm trying to buy this Canon.
I love that one because you said, yeah, I'm trying to go to this national LARPing convention. I need a Canon. He was like, what?
Yeah.
That was so much fun. I was reminded, Jake and I were talking earlier before you got on, and I was reminded about how you and Devin even used to get on that chat roulette. Wasn't so, if I remember correctly, chat roulette was just like a site where people would go on and you would just like click left or right, kind of like you swipe left or right, and it would go to the next person if you got bored with them. Next.
Yeah, you just hit
click next.
Yeah, connects you to a random person with video and
just a random person
audio
in the world that's doing basically the same thing we're doing. Yeah, and that shit was hilarious. And I was reminded of when like I'm a big fan of Ben Folds, that you guys know, and remember when he would do that on live concerts, and he would just make up songs about the people that would show up on the screen, and he would like blast it over the concert. That shit was hilarious.
I do kind of remember that. Hey, Kevin, you guys called in. I'm just remembering this. You guys called into Tom Green's podcast. That was like the first podcast ever, wasn't it? That was like what made podcasts a thing. And
it was. People credit him all the time.
He got so drunk. So yeah, he got really, really drunk. I remember it great. He had Carson Daly and Steve-O on the podcast, and they were doing whippets the whole night, and he was really smashed. And something happened with whoever was answering the phones, like either left or quit or something was going on. So they were answering every call that came in. And I called in, Jason Gelshauser called in, a bunch of other people called in, but I got through, and Tom Green goes, "Hello, you're on the air." And I said, "Hey guys, I'm Kevin from Indiana. I just want to let everybody know I have a huge hairy nutsack." And he goes, "Yeah." Steve-O goes, "Yeah, that's great." And
they were just so drunk. They're just answering every single.
They were answering every call that came in, dude. It was so funny.
Back then, what year was it? 2010.
Man, I don't know.
Was
I lived.
then.
I think
no, it wasn't high school. I lived with my parents again after I moved. I moved out of the apartment I lived with. It was probably 2009 or 10, somewhere around there.
They probably had cancel-worthy shit on there too. They probably
I guarantee it. Yeah, you used to be able to find the episode, and I can't. You can find it now, but it doesn't have any of that shit in there. It took a lot of it out. But
that's funny.
That was awesome.
Well, so the reason why I bring up this pranking is because, Josh, I wanted to ask you about this guy that I follow, and it's great, and it would have been perfect for us. And he started a business out of it. Have you ever heard of John Breaks Bad News?
Yes. Yeah,
so
his things come up on my Instagram every so often. I was telling Devin about him fucking 2 days ago. It's so funny.
They're so freaking funny. So, like, for you listeners out there, that people will just reach out to him through his email, and they pay him, $50
I think
whatever
it might
to
be
just
like a cameo type of thing. You know how you
Oh,
pay
yeah.
someone to
Yeah,
like
yeah.
send you.
Yeah.
I think that's what he does. I'm
But
just guessing.
he'll just call people and you know, for these people that reach out to him and break bad news, whether it be like breaking up with them, telling them that they weren't approved for something, or you know,
Could just be a joke. Like,
they have bad gas. It could, some of them are
yeah,
jokes, some of them
threats
are
me.
like he's outed a pedophile before, and he usually stays really, really cool, and he'll even say like stuff like, all right, bye, I love you, you know, and try to get him to say I love you back. But sometimes, you know, they freak out on him, and he stays cool as long as he can, and then he'll just kind of clown them, especially if they're bad. But
That's awesome.
you know,
Yeah.
it's pretty funny.
Tell the one you were going to tell. The prank story you were going to tell, Kurt.
Okay. So I think we started talking about it, Jake. Oh no, actually. Anyway, well, you guys were talking about pranks on a recent episode, and then for some reason I was talking to my dad about pranks, and I was sending him a phone, the prank we did to Show Me's. Kevin, you remember that one?
Yeah.
I mean, Jake, you obviously remember that one too.
Yeah.
We should play it at the end of this episode.
Yeah, we should.
We can. I've got that. I've got it somewhere. You guys have
I have
it too.
I have it.
If you're okay with it, we will.
I just had it up the other day.
Good.
But yeah. So my dad actually reminded me of this prank, and it started to slowly come back. So I texted Jake, like, dude, did this happen? Like, tell me about it. So what happened was, Jake used to live with this girl who wasn't a very good girlfriend, and they broke up, and they had this house that they were moving out of. And Jake, we hung out one day, and Jake probably mentioned, I'm assuming you said something like, "Oh man, finally effing moved out of this place. The only thing that's left is the stupid Bowflex," and that you guys never used. It's like a coat rack, right? Which is funny in and of itself. But
right.
he's like, the only thing that's left is this Bowflex. And I suggested, well, let's go over there and take it apart, put it back together inside the bathroom. So that's what we did.
Which was
we
a tiny bathroom. Tiny.
Yeah, no power in the house, no AC. It was middle of summer. It was hot as fuck. We were sweating.
Worth it.
And we it wasn't already taken apart. We had to take this thing apart and then put it together back in the bathroom. And the funniest thing that Jake reminded me of was that I was inside the bathroom when we were reassembling it all. And when we got it all back together, I couldn't get out. I couldn't get out. So we had to take parts of it off so I could get out of the bathroom, and then crawl in there and screw it back together. And you know, obviously then the prank is that it's stuck now in the bathroom unless you take the whole thing apart. So it may have, you know, it's funny because the only thing we can laugh at is the thought of them going in there and seeing it. We didn't get to see it. You know, we didn't have to.
Did you ever get a text message or anything else from that, Jake, at all?
Nothing.
We got a message from her that said, like, did you guys take the Bowflex or put it in the bathroom or something? And we were just like, oh, what? And then we didn't hear anything else about it, you know? So our theory is, the theory that we landed on is that they didn't want to let us know how big of an inconvenience and how good of a prank it was. So we're calling it one of the best pranks ever.
That's awesome.
This is like, I think just whenever iPhones really came out. So we were using our flashlights on our phones because, like I said, there's no power. So we're
sweat
like down there,
off the nose.
Yeah, dripping sweat, trying to use these Allen wrenches and stuff, like trying to find the holes, and we got it done. It's fun. I mean,
that's awesome.
That was a pretty.
That
so
one
will go down. I totally forgot about that too until you brought it up, and I can't believe believe your dad remembered that.
Yeah, I would have probably never remembered for the rest of my life if he didn't tell me.
The best part was whenever you texted me and you're like, I said, I feel
really
like happen?
This happened, but I need you to remind me because I don't.
Yeah, remember. I just lost it. I lost it because then it all came rushing back to me.
All by myself.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Laughing to myself about it.
Mm-hmm. That is a good one, guys. I mean, up till that's awesome. I thought the one where Josh was a part of this, we shared this on the last one or one of them about the move in the car. That was awesome. That was so much fun.
I mean, those are I think those are probably tied. That was such a good prank. And I mean, I just have clear memories of me, you, and Jake lifting it and moving it about 4 inches at
Yeah,
a time,
and then
and
it
then
would
we
go
would
off.
fall over and laugh because the alarm would go off. It was like
Yeah.
6
I
a.m.
I asked Chuck recently because I forgot. I was like, "How the hell did you get your car out?" He goes, "Oh, it was easy, man. I just lifted up the back of your truck and moved it a couple inches." I'm like, "Yeah, okay, dude."
Oh,
Oh, nice.
He's so full of shit.
yeah, that's funny.
You know, he Austin powered that thing out of there.
Yeah, he
He-
definitely
that
did.
thing hit reverse 40 times before he left that parking spot.
No, what's funny though, he reminded me of this. He had been getting in some shit at work because he was showing up late all the time, and so
Oh,
like this was gonna make him late. I was
oh.
like, "Oh fuck, I didn't
Well,
really
hopefully
do
didn't
that."
do
But
that.
Yeah.
it was a
And
shitty
then, well, we
job.
talked about doing it then at work when he was at work going. We never ended up
Yeah.
doing it.
Oh no. Yeah. I told some people at work, and we were gonna like put it up on blocks and shit, but we didn't do it.
We tried to heard that. We tried to what I don't know if you guys remember, but we went to the diner after
Yes, there's
and had
video of that
breakfast.
somewhere.
No, I think
they're
we
on
had
my
that before. I think
Yeah.
that was before.
No, it
Was
was
it
after.
before?
It was after. Trust me,
Oh,
it was
was it?
after. Yeah, because we were gonna. The plan was to go to the diner and come back so we could catch Chuck when he was waking up.
Okay,
Oh.
and we all passed out before
And
that.
we also, when we got to the diner, we wanted to wait long enough to for the haircut place next door to open so John could get a bowl cut. You guys remember that?
Oh,
So
yeah.
we didn't last that long. Just so everyone watching knows, we moved this car. But if you didn't see that last episode that they talked about it, there was this little two-door smart car, and three of us moved it by lifting it and turning it like 4 inches at a time. So our buddy was stuck in the parking spot. And this was at 6 a.m, and we hadn't been to sleep yet. We'd been up drinking all night, and then we walked to a diner after us. But we didn't make it. We didn't make it for the haircut. We didn't make it for Chuck waking up. We just went back and fell asleep.
Yeah. John was wearing that Russian hat.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And I was wearing. Was I wearing that monkey hat? Maybe, I don't know, but
I can't remember. The one with the spins.
Oh, that one was funny too. I have those
Yeah.
videos though on my YouTube from that day. They're private.
Those are
though,
good times,
because-
man. Isn't that crazy? We're
Weird.
all
Yeah, you can't get canceled. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I was gonna share a picture of a smart car that I just found on Google.
Yeah, let's see.
I've actually seen a couple recently. You don't really see them anymore, but it's kind of like
No.
a fad.
Could you
Yeah,
I
imagine?
hear
they're-
they're you see them all the time over in Europe, but I haven't been over there.
Could you
Yeah,
imagine
so-
getting
Your
hit by
typical
like
smart
a
car.
F-250 while you're on the highway?
Goodness gracious. Yeah, I'd be
I don't
more
know that
scared
they make
about
them
making it.
anymore. I haven't seen one. I think that was the only time I ever saw one, if
I
I
like
can
protection.
remember. I mean, shit. I don't think I ever rode in it
He gave us
because
a
I was
couple
too
of us a
big.
ride home. There was one morning we fit like 4 of us in it, and I think all of us thought it was going to be easier than it was. There's actually no extra room
No room.
than
Yeah.
those 2 seats.
What
There's
was
no back
smart
seat,
about?
is there? Yeah.
What was smart about them? Does anybody remember?
They're like
Why were they
eco.
called
I don't think they were electric.
Yeah.
I think that they're just
No,
gas
yeah.
I think it was
savers.
just they're smart because most of the time it's just you and maybe one passenger, so why have
Gotcha.
all the extra?
Yeah. Well, we're getting kind of deep into it, but we don't even necessarily have to use this, but I did want to kind of get in, Josh, if it's okay, about you living in Colorado. They call it the Mile High city. In
You're in the
Denver
Mile High
area
Club?
where you're at, and we wanted to see if you would share a little bit about how the altitude kind of affected the way you ate, or especially like drinking alcohol. Like if I remember correctly, it used to kind of affect you drinking while you're in there, and then you started running into other gut issues, and you went for a long time trying to figure out what the heck's going on with you with your diet and stuff, trying to switch that around, and then ultimately you kind of found out what was going on. If you don't mind, would you share? Because I think you never know, there could be a listener out there that's dealing with the same
Yeah.
issues And even my mom, she was having gut issues recently, and I even mentioned to her, I was like, have you tried doing this? And it ultimately being, I think it's ended up being her gallbladder. But but anyways, if you don't mind, go into it a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, the first well, I like that you mentioned the altitude and the gut thing because
Yeah.
That was my
they
idea.
all everything together made the whole situation more confusing, you know?
Right. Right.
But like when I lived in Michigan, when Devin and I lived in Michigan, well, I would drink beer pretty regularly, at least a few times a week after our work, and I would drink like heavy brown ales, and be up late. But I was also working at night, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But drinking beer was nothing. And then I remember when we moved out of Michigan, we stayed at my dad's land for like a week, and me and my dad we drank beer every day. Every day, everything was fine. But then the day I moved here, we got to Jeff's house, and I had like 3 beers, and I mean, I thought I was gonna die of a heart attack. I mean, I was up all night, and my heart was just thudding out of my chest, and I
Mm-hmm.
attributed it to traveling, altitude, lack of
Right.
sleep, but it never stopped. It just never stopped. So for years, I'd say at least 2 or 3 years. This, well, far more than that. Like 6 years, I attributed it to altitude, um, and I just kind of stopped drinking, um, because anytime I would, it would feel like I was gonna die. I mean, sometimes I could drink a half a beer, sometimes I could drink 3 beers, but I never really got that far before I just felt awful. I
Right.
wouldn't be able to sleep. My heart just felt like it was thudding out of my chest. Well, um,
Well, can I say something? It was almost to
yeah,
the point where you would never even drink, and then whenever you would kind of be excited to come back home because you're like, all right, I'm out of that altitude, so I can
yeah,
drink now.
but that actually
But then
didn't help either. Yeah,
right, that didn't
Yeah.
help.
I remember when
I
we
didn't
came to
know.
visit you. When we came to visit you, sorry to cut you off as
No,
well,
no, no.
but you were still thinking that's what it was, and like you and I was excited to drink a little bit with you, and you were fine that night, I believe, but you were just worried or nervous that it was gonna get you.
Yeah, excuse me. And there's a couple other things that made it more confusing. Like sometimes I might drink liquor and I would feel not as bad, which doesn't make any sense, right? Until
Right.
I tell you about this next part, which is early last year. So also during this time, I would randomly get incredibly sick, and I'm talking sicker than I can even describe to you. I should have gone to the hospital many times. There was one time where I ate one time in 7 days, and after I ate, I got fucking so sick.
Mm,
And so, but it was just random. There was no rhyme
yeah.
or reason to it.
The sickness
Uh,
would come out of nowhere.
yeah, and it was horrible. It was horrible. It was just horrible. I just don't even like to think about it. But it would come and go. There was no rhyme or reason, like I said, which made it impossible to attribute it to basically anything. So
Yeah.
and I ended up, and I didn't have I was still waiting tables back then, so I had no insurance. I ended up self-paying for like to see like a specialist one time, and they would basically like kind of gently tell me like you're gonna go broke if you try to fix this as a self-pay patient, and there just
Yeah.
wasn't much they could do for me, and they couldn't tell me what was wrong because I needed tests ran and all this stuff.
Without running like a big stream of tests,
Right. So
that
eventually,
gets expensive.
I moved into the field of cybersecurity over the years, got a good job with great insurance, and um, there was like a point in time where I was like, okay, I'm figuring out what the fuck is wrong with me. And I started
Yeah.
going to specialists, and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. They wanted me to get on antidepressants because they thought I was just full of shit. I even they even started to convince
Wow.
me that I was going crazy. I saw a psychologist at one point, and I knew deep down like there's something going on,
Right.
and
I know
eventually
my own
one
body.
yeah, I knew there's something. Eventually one night I got real sick again, and what actually was the breakthrough is the palms of my hands started itching uncontrollably to where I was like rubbing them on the couch, and I was
Oh wow.
deathly sick. But the hand thing was different, and Devin mentioned something about she knew a friend. She had a friend at one point that had a gluten or celiacs, and his hands would itch if he would eat
Mhm.
gluten. So the next
Wow.
day I said, and at this point I was starting to get sick daily. So like I would eat anything and I would just feel awful. I get headache. I was sleeping all the time. I had no energy. I couldn't do anything. My stomach was always sour and it just was awful. And then so after Devin said that, the next day I cut out gluten. Everything was better. And
Boom.
I should mention too, I
You
like
tried other things.
ended up breaking out in this massive rash all over my body. So basically everywhere that you couldn't see, everywhere under clothing was
Uh-huh.
covered in these not hives, but like
Bumpy
spots.
red.
I mean, I looked like I had the
Yeah.
plague. It was terrible.
Oh God.
Jake, you know what ringworm looks like because you've
Yeah.
wrestled. The, some of the spots look like dry ringworm patches. It was
Yeah.
super strange. I had to go to a dermatologist. So strangely enough, this whole thing ended at a dermatologist where they were like, well, you know, basically, if you, this rash can appear due to gluten sensitivities, and if you've been able to attribute this to gluten, you likely have a problem with gluten. So I went and got an endoscopy, which they put like a tube down your throat.
Mhm.
That's
Hmm.
how they diagnose celiacs. I actually came up
Mhm.
negative for celiacs,
Wow.
and so
Wow.
they were basically like, you have a severe gluten intolerance, and and
Is
so
that
now
something?
I don't
Is
eat
that
gluten.
something you think you built like over time? Like, for me, like how I just randomly got the shellfish allergy. Do you think that is that kind of something that they told you, how this is
I
something that can develop over time?
Yeah,
Because I
I have
mean,
a
yeah. So
theory on
you,
this too. I have a
it's
theory
definitely
on this. If you
something
guys don't
that
mind me sharing.
it's definitely something that as soon as I'm finished, Kevin,
Yeah,
I
this
know what he's gonna say. Yeah, yeah. Cut
it's
him off.
definitely
You're the guest.
something that
We don't want to hear a smart ass
that can
remark.
come on over time. I mean, you can even not have celiacs, and then celiacs can, well, I guess you would always have it, but like it may not show until later in life. Same with the
Yeah.
gluten sensitivity. But dude, now that I don't eat gluten, and I just like, this beer is delicious. It just isn't brewed with a
Right.
wheat, barley, or rye. It's delicious. But now that I don't eat gluten, I feel like superhuman. I always tell that to
But
Devin.
yeah,
I just have so much
you're.
energy. I sleep better, and everything's so
It
much
changed
better.
your life.
I'm not
that's
poisoning
awesome.
myself. It did.
Right.
It absolutely did.
Yeah.
That I mean,
So
that's awesome.
what I wanted to say, and this sparked it. When you started, you were talking about your story, and you were talking about how you were at your dad's farm. We've got a friend, Jake. I can say his name, Joe Day. His wife just recently realized that she's got a problem where she can't eat like anything that has meat in it. Jake, and I think your
Half gal.
mother-in-law
My
has the same
mother-in-law has it.
issue.
She got
They got
bit
bit
by
by a tick.
it's by
Y-
a Lone Star tick.
yeah,
I
and
don't know
so
if that
like
could have
she
happened
was
to you.
getting so sick. Just she gets sick off of smelling meat. He's like, there's certain things that she smells that make her sick, and she can be sick
Yeah.
for a while. And it's like, I don't know that a tick would be able to cause you to be gluten intolerant, but you said you were at your dad's, farm. That just sparked that, that in my mind. Like, I wonder if that has any bearing on it or not.
I've actually thought of similar things too. Like I thought, what if COVID did this, or what if the vaccine did it? I mean, I'm not trying to
Yeah.
get
Yeah,
No, yeah,
conspiracy
yeah.
theory
Not
yeah,
shit,
yeah.
conspiracy,
but
yeah.
I couldn't help but wonder. But the thing that makes me know that that's not it is the first time I remember getting sick like this was all the way back in like 2008 or 7. uh, I got really, really sick after eating Cece's pizza one night, and I would
I can
always
understand
attribute,
that.
this to like food poisoning. It's
Yeah, yeah,
super
yeah.
easy to just
Yeah.
attribute. You eat buffet pizza. Yeah, I got fucking food poisoning, but it was when I
Cardboard
think back.
gluten.
when I think back to that very distinct feeling, and that's another thing too. Like when it was going on, I was like, what the frick is wrong with me? But now if I like accidentally have gluten, I know right away. As soon as
Yeah.
10 minutes, I know that I had gluten because I'm so
Wow.
like, I'm sensitive to like fried food that like if I have French fries that were fried in oil that also
Yeah.
fried breaded chicken, I'm effed. So it's
It's to
like
the point that you can confirm it. Like, you might have tried different things and you could never confirm, but now it's like if you have gluten, you're like, oh,
yeah.
I'm getting that feeling again. I know that's exactly what it is.
It also
You know,
happened with Devin in Michigan in 2014. We went to a Detroit Tigers game, and I had a hot dog. So this was 2014. That was 10 years ago. I've not had a hot dog since.
Damn.
wow.
Eh,
No
Because that's
buns.
what I thought it was, but it wasn't the hot dog. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Right.
So it's just
You know,
weird.
what would be interesting, Josh? I found this out because I heard about it from our friend Earl. There is a there's something out there that basically states your blood type determines what your body can metabolize when it comes to food, and people use this method for dieting a lot. I looked it up, and that I used to be I gained quite a bit of weight over the years and just recently lost it all. But the only
Yeah.
dieting that's ever really worked for me was low carb, like no carbs at all, essentially. And when I did some research on my blood type, it states that it says that the types of food that you need to eat are meats and
Low in
vegetables and
wheat
shit
and
like that.
yeah.
No carbs, essentially. And I wonder if you should look into that. Just not that it matters because you know what your issue is, but the science behind it is kind of amazing to me if that's actually the
Yeah.
case.
Yeah, but
I
even if
lost so much weight doing that.
even if it's not for like the gluten intolerance, it could tell me about other things that I could avoid or
Yeah.
add to make me
Yeah,
feel much better.
absolutely.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right.
So
Yeah, to keep building onto it.
from what I've read, there's no test for gluten intolerance that is accurate, but they sell them. So I don't know how I don't know how well the ones they
Right.
Accurate.
sell
Yeah.
work, but I guess there's a consistency issue or something. But there's intolerance tests. I've always been interested in what those would show.
I'm sure that's probably like piqued a lot of interest now in like study in your life. You know what I mean? Like now that it's kind of because it's like part of your life now. You know what I mean? Like you know that you can't have gluten, and so it's almost like I want to start building off that.
It
And I'm
is
kind
Right.
of
kind of
like
like
that with.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's kind of like a secondhand benefit.
Yeah.
Like not being able to eat gluten is such a healthy thing to do. I don't want to,
Right.
I have to, and
Yeah.
it's like not only am I not eating gluten itself, but I'm also not able to just go get fast food anymore. I just can't do
True.
it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Yeah.
forced to cook a lot and eat
Better.
things
It's like double benefiting you. Yeah. It's
yeah,
making you
Yeah.
healthier,
being
and
forced into it. But I feel great
and
though.
not to
That's
mention
awesome, though. I mean, you look great.
not being
So
able to not being able to eat that gluten too cuts down on your sugar intake because most of our uh you know
It's
carb
carbs.
wheat yeah, that it has a lot of sugar. I mean, even like if you look at like white bread that you just buy, bunny bread or whatever, not to be
I,
libelous, you look at
yeah.
it, they throw a lot of sugar into that stuff.
I
Bunny
started buying
bread,
low carb, low calorie bread, and I
Wonder
honestly don't
bread.
notice a difference. It's like
Yeah.
why the fuck not?
Yeah, it's good.
We
Yeah.
found so many different recipes, and TikTok is crazy now too. Like whenever I first started going back onto it, like a low carb, keto, whatever you want to call it, diet, we found so many different recipes of shit to make bread that didn't have any like freaking carbs in them. Like it's
hmm
crazy how much
hmm
different things are out there now that you can just figure out for yourself however you want to eat. You can eat the
Yeah.
same way,
That's like
just
the
change it.
least. Honestly, that's like the least affecting. What's the word I'm looking for? That's like the least. One of the things that I
Yeah.
thought would be the most impactful is not being able to have bread, but it's actually one of the least because there's so many
Yeah.
different alternatives,
Yeah.
like gluten-free options.
Yeah.
It's what is the most impactful is not being able to just go to different
Get
restaurants and just
yeah.
order things. You know what I
Eat
mean?
whatever
Sure.
you want. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because you have to know if
I
it's
gotta
cooked in the oil and all that.
I gotta
Yeah.
know what my safe places are and the fucking
Yeah.
what places are gonna like we
Be
went
able
to
to
Applebee's
accommodate.
once. I'll never go to
Yeah.
Applebee's again, probably. You know,
Yeah.
if I do, I'm
Yeah.
gonna
Well,
get
but
like a salad
one good thing too that comes from it is your location
for sure.
you know, like you living even, I mean, you know, technically we're a city, you know, they don't have the variety that they have where you're at,
Yeah. I can walk to 3
or,
freaking
you know, as far as
restaurants.
beer, food, you know, bread.
Even
It
that's
seems like,
funny. Yeah, beer. I can get so many different kinds of gluten-free beer out here in Evansville. I was got the Red
yeah,
Bridge.
you're limited. Yeah, fucking look at you. Remember that on the
Twisted
truck?
off some Red.
Fuck you. This dude's twisted off
I
some Red Bridge.
can't say I've ever had some
That was
Red
the
Bridge.
same night that Vi asked me if I had pink eye.
Yeah, yeah. Your eyes look nice and clear right now, though. They look
Yeah,
really good.
I'm glad the pink eye cleared up, man. I was worried about you
Very
too.
Yeah.
blue. For all you
I just had
listeners
a
out there, if you
little. I
want
just,
to,
you know, put some drops in. No, really, I just didn't. I held off on my herb all day so I would be talkative for the pod.
Josh is gonna get mad, but for all you listeners out there, if you don't know what Josh looks like, get on. You can see some bedroom eyes. That's what they're called, right? Mickey Blue Eyes. He's got very blue eyes. Oh, he's a handsome young man. Well, I mean, I think that, I mean, honestly, I really do appreciate you
Almost headbutted.
giving your input on that.
Yeah, I hope I didn't bore
like
everyone
I said,
talking about that for so long. But
no, I think that
Yeah, I mean,
people
I
will
was
find
pretty
that
bored,
very
but yeah.
interesting, and
it fucking
you know, like I
sucked.
said, you never know. There might be somebody out there that's dealing with stuff like that right now. They don't know what the hell's going
Yeah.
on. So I think it's cool
You know,
to cover different things like that.
We've
talked about this
even
before.
More, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No,
I
you
was
go
just gonna
ahead.
say it was even more like. Well, I think what made it even more weird is I've never ever had a food restriction in my life. Nothing ever. I've never had to ask what's in that or what's in this or
Yeah,
you know, can you do this or that or it's just
right.
I'll eat anything always.
And you know, that happened to me. You know, like I was 28 years old,
Mhm.
never had an allergy. One time ate seafood, and I still think it's a freak accident because I've even had soup with like clam juice in it. You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
nothing's ever happened to
Clam
me.
juice.
And they said like
Clam.
how severe
Very
my
clam.
allergy could be. I couldn't even be around like the steam of shrimp. And I've worked in a restaurant where they cook that shit around me all the time. And Beth, she loves seafood. I mean, that's her biggest thing is she loves sushi. And she's like, I can't really, you know, I can't wait for Iris to get big so I can have a sushi day because I can't really eat. I mean, I can eat like certain things, but she'll like cook scallops, you know, she'll cook crab cakes and stuff around me, you know, and it doesn't affect me. So, but it does suck because I do love seafood and I've always wanted to delve back into it. It's funny enough, right before that happened to me, it was getting close to Mardi Gras and I was so excited for some crawdads and or crawfish. Wherever you're whatever region you're from might be called differently. But yeah, I never got to do that. Still haven't done it, and it's been a long time since.
It's I mean, fuck guys, like, you know, hate to say it, we're almost 40. Like, it's crazy the things that I've already just noticed in my own self and my own body that I had to change or do differently because I'm not invincible like I was, you know, 10, 15 years ago.
You become more aware of your
all
mortality.
The stupid shit. Yeah,
Crazy.
for
Then you
sure.
say that
Even like
shit
you
out
stop
loud
drinking
and you're like,
stuff.
I'm old. That sounds like my dad.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
Josh,
real.
that's one of the main reasons I started like going to the gym. I haven't had a routine on doing that shit since probably even high school. And I'm like, dude,
Josh, you should see him,
I'm not even
He's
40.
got muscle. He's bulking up.
Yeah, you don't want to fuck with me.
I believe you. I was just telling Devin, I just started doing push-ups like 4 or 5 weeks ago, and I went from being able to do 18 in a row to 47.
Hell yeah.
I
bet you I can do 48.
I do a few sets to get to 100, but I'll do that many every other day, and I wouldn't ever been able to do any of that shit. It sounds so like.
No, it's not. It
feels
like
weird.
I was
in the same boat.
You're like narcissistic or something. Yeah, no, it's not.
No, wait, what? What'd you say?
It's awesome.
Wait, what'd you say?
I didn't know if you're gonna say like if it sounds like you're like being like a braggart or something, but you're not.
No. It sounds. I was gonna say it sounds kind of dramatic to.
He wasn't gonna say that at all, Jake.
To the gluten, but I just feel like ever since I quit eating gluten, everything's so much easier physically.
Yeah.
I'm in the same boat with
awesome.
with drinking, man. Since I quit drinking, like I just feel so much better every day.
That'll do
you
a
know,
lot for you too. Just
yeah,
stopping
and
that. I mean,
I had more of a problem than you guys do. You know, like I just, but it is what it is, and I just decided to quit, and I won't, and there's no reason for me to go back now. Like I'm fine. I don't miss it at all. So it's like whatever.
Yeah.
And having those years off when I didn't know what was making me sick, that like got me out of that habit of drinking like every night, like I did in Michigan, like I was saying. So now that I can, I don't. It's like everything's almost. It's just like worked out so well because now I just naturally drink like once, just every so often, like tonight, you know. And then
it was like a blessing in disguise almost. You know? Like I mean, it sucks that you had to go through that, but like the payoff was that you figured it out. You're a lot healthier. You're getting stronger, and all that struggle like kept you away from bad things, like bad habits that you had fallen into, and now you're not back into it. But anyways, I think that's a good stopping point for a little
I appreciate you boring our audience for the last hour.
I have
Josh,
to go.
I can't believe you guys let me talk about that for that long.
No, I think you did.
No,
great,
that was
dude.
awesome, dude.
Awesome.
I appreciate it.
That was really awesome. I think that was like very interesting, honestly.
Right,
so if you guys don't think it's interesting, make sure to send comments to Josh and our podcast. Just send it to his email, not ours.
You can send me a text.
I want to hear it. Send all your hate towards Two Bros.
In the comments and tell me what I could have done better.
Yes.
How you would have handled his issues.
We need Matt Bivens to tell us how he would have done it better. That's what we really need.
Yeah. Well, I would be honest. I thought Matt's naming. First off, I should let you know that when I saw your logo for the 3 Bros Eggs Benedict, I thought they added another brother, and it's not me.
It's not me.
and I went to sleep. I cried myself to sleep. But then the next day, when I listened to the pod, I realized, it's just a 1 episode thing. It's Matt, makes sense. But I liked his name. Right. The reason for his name, in all seriousness, like how it went from. It's kind of like a nickname. Yeah. How like somebody named one thing, like you might start as Jake, then it goes to Jake the Snake, and then maybe that rhymes with bake. So and then in the end, your nickname is like Princess.
Completely
you know what
different.
I mean? So it's like It's like
that's what we call him now.
He like explained the 3 bros, the Saint Benedicts, Eggs Benedict.
The evolution.
I thought that was funny.
The evolution of it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
The Eggs Benedict is an inside joke. I don't even remember where Eggs Benedict started, Jake. I just remember being at your parents' house. It was the same time whenever your dad kept telling us about the crabapple trees in the backyard, so we kept giving him shit about that. And I just remember us talking about Eggs Benedict, but I don't remember like what was behind that.
It was whenever Uncle Tim passed away, and we were making something for the.
I do remember. We had a casserole.
We were making
somebody made it,
and we were.
Yeah.
We were talking about making Eggs Benedict, and then the next day it looked like Eggs Benedict.
Yes, that's what it was. Okay.
Hey, can I just Eggs Benedict? Breakfast is my favorite meal today. I think Eggs Benedict is overrated.
It is.
Yeah, it's not something I have often. Yeah.
I didn't have my first Eggs Benedict till.
I've never had one.
2011 or 12 at the pub. Is there a bar on Division called the Pub?
There used to be.
It used to be.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Do you guys remember when we lived on Division? We walked down there in the morning. I had my first Eggs Benedict.
I definally remember that.
That's a really good story. We're going to make sure we keep that in.
There's a sauce that they put on there.
We're going to keep that one in for sure.
Wow. Yeah, that one made it through the edit. That is fucking worthy.
If you can't tell, Josh's face is really red right now because there he is. He's back. Let's go ahead and take a break, though, and we'll come back and we'll get into our second segment, and we'll do some hot topics and Spitfire questions. So with that, we'll see you guys in just a bit. Bye. Say bye, Josh.
Bye. We're back, guys.
Hey, what's up, guys?
We're back. Two Bros with Benefits podcast. We got our special guest, our bro, Josh Kern, we're all brothers from other mothers,
and
who are actually brothers. Yeah. So, but
we're
yeah,
doing
we're
well.
back, and we had some good information from Josh about his health and all that, and he just got a lot of good things to say. I appreciate everything.
Yeah, it was really good. With that, I guess we'll probably get into the second segment since we can get to talking. It's fun. And like I said, it's like when we hang out, it's just like we hadn't hung out before, or we get like we haven't not hung out before. So we'll get back into it.
If I played it.
All right, guys, we're gonna get into
What you thinking
our
about?
number one feature. It is time for the Q.
Hey, man, I've been thinking a lot lately.
What you thinking about?
Hey, you know what time that is. It's time for Hot Topics and Hot Takes. This is where we ask our special guests, we give them 3 topics and we disguise them in either funny puns or just, funny little titles. And they get to pick which one they want to talk about. We'll go through all 3 of them. So I'm going to read these out to you, Josh. You know how it works. And I'll let you pick and then we'll discuss. So the first one we have is Zimbabwe to the future. The second is K2, it's not potpourri. And the third one is these damn millennials and their social media.
Let's do K2, it's not potpourri.
Okay. All right. So we have a video. We have actually 2 videos that we're going to show you. But first, this isn't the K2 that you might be thinking about, the smoking chemical potpourri that destroys people. We've seen videos of people. I've seen videos of people on streets on New York where they've got a bad batch of K2 and they're all just slumped over. Have you seen stuff like that? They're all just slumped over like fire hydrants or just laying in the street. But this has nothing to do with that. This actually, the first thing that I want you to pop up, Kevin, it'll say Everest 1. So what this is we're going to be talking about Mount Everest, and specifically Mount Everest and the second highest peak, which is the most dangerous, and it's called K2. I don't know why they call it that. I didn't look that part up, but we'll pull this picture up. It should be Everest 1, I think, and I'll read it. I will read it in my phone. Here we go. While Mount Everest is the most famous and tallest mountain on Earth, K2, the second highest, is called the Savage Mountain due to its high fatality rate, which is approximately 23 deaths per 100 successful summits. This essentially means climbers face a 1 in 4 chance of not surviving the ascent, making K2 one of the deadliest mountains in the world. For comparison, the death rate from climbing Everest in the last 30 years sits at 1%. The most deadly events of K2 were in 1986, K2 disaster, in 1995, K2 disaster, and in 2008, K2 disaster. As of August 2023, an estimated 800 people had completed a summit of the mountain, and 96 had died trying.
Wow.
That's crazy. So we're gonna show a video now, and I didn't get all of them. I follow a few pages on my Instagram. That's kind of what brought me to it. And I will say, like, there's a lot of topics that's going on in the world, but most of them are political. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to just pull some random stuff that I kind of think is cool and interesting. And I figured you guys might think it's interesting too. And I thought it'd kind of be cool to get your input. So this is why I picked this one. But
we'll tell you if we think it's interesting here in a second.
We will go ahead and play this one in. And I follow, like I said, a bunch of pages, and I just pulled this isn't even all of it. There was one where I saw it was just a frozen body. When they turned him over, he was like an icicle, like his arm was out and he was just arm in the air, like boom. And they had to pull him down like that. But go ahead and play this video. And I'll kind of describe what's going on.
My God.
So right now, there's a bad winter storm going on K2, and this lady's freaking out, which,
My God. Somebody's dead. Somebody's dead.
Oh no. Oh no.
So the thing with this is, oxygen disease is what gets them a lot, whenever they're breathing too heavily, and that's not good for that lady. So if you're just listening to this, there's bodies that are starting to slide down the mountain.
Some people they are dead.
The Sherpa says people are dead.
Oh
There's a couple
no.
more.
That's
We've turned into a
awful.
depressing podcast, by the way.
And then I pieced together. So that guy's
Jeez. I picked the wrong one.
So yeah, we're showing.
Oh my
so this
god.
guy.
Can you imagine freezing to death? Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it
One
didn't
in
show all of it.
four?
It kind of cut out there.
And there you
but
have it.
I'll add the video. So yeah, I mean it's to the point where bodies fall, and they use these bodies as checkpoints. Like these hikers hike across them. They step over their bodies or walk right past them. Like one of them that you saw in there, his name, he had the green boots. He's called Green Boot Man, and he's been there I think since the 90s. And then he's
They
like
just leave them there?
yeah, they can't
For
rescue
that
them. So
long?
they actually, so they've been there just forever. No, there's people there from like the 20s, 30s. So, and that leads to my next thing is, in the video you saw them digging out someone and they were sliding them down. So there's been a few Sherpas and people that have braved these mountains to try to rescue some of these bodies and bring them back to their home. And the guy that they were digging out there, he was a famous recovery Sherpa that would recover tons of bodies, and he just recently got caught in a storm and passed. And they went up there and they recovered him and brought him down. But I mean, it's pretty grim, morbid stuff. I mean, I guess I'll get into my questions for both of you guys. Would either of you see yourselves doing something that you're passionate about that would give you a 1 in 4 chance at survival? I mean, Josh, imagine, this is kind of an analogy. Imagine if you won a free seat into the World Series of Poker, but you knew you had a 1 in 4 chance of making it, only 75% chance of survival. Is that something that you could see yourself doing? Would you take a risk like that?
No.
I mean, it's your
I
life.
don't think there's any way.
And like honestly, it's probably poker that would make me not, because I've been in so many situations where I was a 75% favorite or more, and I've seen that 20% or less dog come through.
Yeah.
So I to me, 20% is not that great. I mean, I know it's
No.
1 in 5, but
And
that's not a good odds. I've met people though that I truly believed when they said that if they had a slot machine they could pull, and there's a 50% chance they were a billionaire and a 50% chance they would die, they would pull it. I believe that they meant
that's
it.
crazy.
Yeah,
That is wild. I'm glad you shared that.
I mean, there's some thrill seekers out there, like that's how their mind works. They're like they're looking for that thrill. I'm not like that. I don't want to die. If there's a 1 in 4 chance that I'm not going to make it, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, like the adrenaline junkies that like free base and stuff, like they jump off of, buildings and stuff. I mean, that it's wild because, with poker, I mean, that's kind of a good analogy because, mentally you think you're there, but you really don't know until you're in that setting. People in that World Series of Poker, they can crumble under pressure. But for these people that are climbing Everest, they've been training, and it's physical for them, and they think they're physically fit enough, but you don't know until you're up in those elements, and it is a gamble. I mean, go ahead.
What are they? I guess. I mean, I understand the obvious point. Like, is this something they're passionate about? It's probably more than just a hobby. But what
do you get out of it?
What would make What do you get out of it after you hear 1 in 4 people die, and you say, okay, it's worth it. It's worth it.
It's thrill, man. Yeah.
What makes that worth it?
exactly. To just say, "Oh, I climbed Mount Everest," or "I climbed
I mean,
Mount K2."
that's
That
really the
doesn't
only
seem worth
thing.
it to me.
What does that do? You know, where does
Yeah.
that get you in life?
Yeah.
That's
Well, and then
that's crazy.
and then my next question would be like, do you think that there'll ever be a time where climbing Everest will be banned? I mean, these Sherpas that live there in the Himalayas, I mean, that's their way of life. That's how they make their money. So I mean, there's no way like our government would come in. We might I guess we could ban Americans, but do you think that
Well,
you would ever see something like that? I mean,
When you say the Sherpas, that's how they make their living. What's a Sherpa?
so a Sherpa is like the people they're like the guides that like lead them up. They've been doing it a lot. And in the end of that video, which it cut off, it showed all the deaths on Everest and K2, and it showed the percentage of Sherpas, and it showed every single pinpoint of everyone, and it showed all the actual climbers too. And I mean, it was like 23% were Sherpas, and the rest were climbers. So these are people that they live in the area, they know the area. Yeah, it was something like that. Yeah.
So even the people that know it best are still dying at a 23% rate.
Yeah.
What I think is
fucking hell. I wouldn't. You couldn't pay me to do that.
Right.
What, Jake? To your point about, do you think that'll ever be banned? You got to think about where this is. First off, you know, if this was in the United States,
Probably
we would
already.
You know, it'd be banned because the liability, and you know, you got the lawyers and you got the insurance and all that shit that you got to think about. So that's not even it wouldn't even be an option here. You know, whoever owns that land is the one that's liable for whatever happens there, unless they have them sign like, you know, non-disclosure agreement. You know, not you know,
I'm sure. The Himalayans, they're not seeking any repercussions for this deaths, I'm sure.
Not non-disclosure, but like
they don't want to disclose
like, maybe
that they
we might like NDA, we might be able to. You know, American government might be able to ban Americans from doing it, but it's not like they can just say, nope, nobody can climb the Himalaya. You know, I mean, it's not your country.
I don't think even you can do that because you're in a different country. How? I mean, they're just going to have to ban you from going there altogether, I guess, rather than say, well, no, once you go there, you can't do it. That they have no control over that,
unless like you had to get like a passport stamp that says you're at the base. You know, you're at base camp, and you come back and they see that you did that, then they can. You know, there's repercussions there, but I mean, that is crazy that this still goes on. I'm not saying that I want to ban it or anything like that. It's just, there's deaths every year. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, I want to know, I'd like to know how many people actually do it. Right. I mean, it's not a lot. We're not talking about a lot of people here. Even though you have deaths every year.
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people
that go that far into it. I guess maybe that's what I'm getting at. I don't know. I can't imagine there's that many people that just.
I mean, they're taking people
that actually think they want to do that.
I don't know if it's daily, but I mean, they have regular schedules, and these Sherpas.
I mean,
like
Sherpas,
I'm sure it's
to go that far in it though. Like they probably definitely go on the tours or whatever, and they go as far as they know is safe. But the people that actually
there's
go
a death zone.
Yeah, the people that go further on,
into the death
there's
zone.
not very many people that do that, is what I'm saying.
Could you imagine though? Go ahead, Josh.
I was just gonna say, I bet I would imagine there's probably a big difference between the amount that climb Everest versus the amount that climb that mountain K2.
Yeah.
But this says Everest is about 800 each year.
800 people.
800 people climb it each year. K2, like 2023, 112 with one death. 2022, 200 people climbed it. It doesn't say how many deaths, though. But
so 200. I mean, that's not a lot in the grand scale.
Only
of
60
things.
in 2021.
So people are scared to kind of climb this mountain. They know
absolutely. I mean, we all are. I mean, I don't want to climb.
We're never even considering it. And it's scary to me.
I don't want to climb mountains in general. You know, mostly. I'm sure. Josh, do you ever go mountain climbing out where you're at?
We've been in the mountains. That's different than like a cold mountain. But yeah, for sure.
Well, I mean, okay. Here's another thing that I wrote down here because let's take Everest out of the situation, but there's other sports. So there's a motorcycle race called the Isle of Man TT, and I think it's in England, but it kills on average of 8 people each year, and 255 people have died racing in it. And in 2016, 5 people died just in the practice race alone. Kern, you've seen me send you videos of those motorcycles that like people are standing off to the side and they just come whizzing by.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And
If
it's
you
scary.
crash,
I mean,
you're
one
just
wrong turn,
instantly shredded.
one crack.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're done. You explode. And then I'm assuming that 5-1 probably was a multiple crash type situation, unless one person hit and they all kept hitting the same thing. But
it just comes down to a different mentality, man. Those people have a different brain than we do.
Yeah.
They're wired
I mean,
differently
I
than
guess
we are,
if,
and
if they want to do it, I don't know. I mean, you want to protect somebody from themselves? Like, do you want to tell somebody they can't do something even though they fully understand the risk?
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't know. I don't
you
know.
almost want to talk to somebody that does that, as opposed to somebody like us that we're all going to agree that we're not going to do it, right? So
Yeah.
With that
if you
motorcycle
get
race,
into the mind of somebody like that.
Well, they're all adrenaline junkies, but my thing is like you would think that most of them would be younger, like in their ages where they think they're invincible, like how we did whenever we were young. But I mean, with the mountain, these are a lot of times they're older people, and that's probably why they're dying, because they aren't as physically fit. But with that motorcycle race, I watched a video where one of the analysts, he watched one of his friends die, and he had to go and break the news to his buddy's wife, right after that he died up on the mountain, racing his motorcycle. But I mean, you think most of these people that are doing stuff like this would probably be younger in age. They think, I mean, whenever I was young, I always talk about this, like whenever I was like in my young 20s, my dad used to have me come over and clean out the gutters on this rickety ladder 3 stories up. I mean, it's almost like 30, 35 feet up. And I used to just run up that ladder and, do it. And then then one time he had me do it when I was in my 30s, and I got to the top of that thing and I was just clinging on for dear life. Like, oh my gosh, dad. And, my dad, that was back when he was smoking cigarettes. I think I brought this up in another podcast where, he would like walk off and like not be holding the ladder, just be smoking a cigarette on the phone. I'm like, Dad, hold the ladder, But
hey, Josh, I think I finally realized why Jake wanted all of us to be in his family. Because whenever I came along, I was the one who got to do all that because Jake didn't want to anymore. So he's like, who can I have that's going to be my friend? Know they're going to be pawned into doing it because they're dating my sister.
Who's my next pawn? Yeah, the right word.
So I think that's what it is.
That's
you just got tired of doing shit for your parents, and you're like, oh,
get me.
Let's let Kevin do that now.
Yeah, I know. Josh was out of town. You got lucky. That's why it was nice being in Michigan. I didn't have to do anything.
I got the hell out of there.
I did it one time, and I won't do it again. That shit scares me. I won't even do it in my own house anymore. I've talked about that before.
I was the only brother in town, so I was only a man in town. So it was like everything got, I got asked to do everything.
You won't do what again? Kevin, get on your roof?
I won't get on my own roof, but no, I got on their Ernie. I got on their roof a couple times to clean the gutters out, and that shit just. I used to not be scared, like Jake was saying. I used to not be scared by that kind of stuff.
Did you do the tall side or the short side?
Tall stuff. I did the tall side, right by the front door.
Yeah.
Front
door and then in the side yard. Go ahead, Josh.
Yep.
I was just gonna say I got up on my roof last year and did that, and it's always like you look up, you're like, oh, that's not big. You get up there though, it's totally different. You start walking towards the edge, and you want to lay down. I won't do it anymore.
Shit. I pay somebody to get up there now. It's like it's not worth it to me, and it's not like I'm made of money.
Like that.
Yeah.
You see people jumping off the high dive. You're like, oh, that's not high, and then you get up on the
100%.
on it, and you're like, oh my god.
That's like the first place you experience that feeling is the high dive. Yeah. You're like, oh yeah. Oh, if I can go off that, I can go off that. It's only 3 times higher. You go up there. And But
I remember when Aiden was really young.
Like, gutter was every time it would rain last year, it would overflow and just splatter everywhere on the deck. So I got up there one day and I had to take the gutters apart and like, get the clogged leaves out. But it's freaky going up to the edge of the roof when you're standing up there.
Oh yeah, walking on that steepness. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you feel that. You like want to hold on.
I'll do it though. I'm not like that. I'm not like that big of a pussy where I'll pay someone to go do it.
Yeah,
but I understand. I understand
I'll
why
risk
some
my
people
life.
might not be built for that.
I'll be
Whenever-
terrified to do it, but I'll do it.
I've gotten up
like-
there, but it's just
I'm just
freaking
joking.
it scares me. I know you are.
Well, you know, like was it Berkeley Lake or Kentucky Lake where they had the graffiti wall? I used to do like backflips off that shit, and now like you couldn't pay me to jump off that thing. And people die jumping off that.
I watched Danny Schuster try to do a backflip off there or a front flip, and he landed on his fucking stomach, dude. We thought he was dead,
and that's how people
bro.
die.
Yeah.
I saw a guy do a backbuster on it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how people die in car crashes.
I remember when Aiden was really young, he watched me on top of the roof one time, and like he was like, you could tell that he was scared for me, and I was like, I don't know, I don't do it anymore, dude. I've actually hired our other brother-in-law Chase. They've gotten up there and done it before for me, and I've had another neighbor that does roof stuff that. I mean, it's not like I'm paying a lot of money here. We're talking maybe $100, $200 to do it, and it's worth it to
me. Or
even
like, jumping off of Chase's roof into the pool. Remember we used to do that, and now I'd be scared to do that because you got to jump out enough to make sure you hit the pool. You know.
Very, 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 very wisely, they cut that off. You remember?
Yeah.
At the time, it was like, dang. But now looking back at it, that was a very, very smart.
And we were doing we were
drinking, jumping off the roof.
Yeah, we were usually pretty lit. All right, well, we'll get into our next two.
All right, so we're on to the next hot topic.
Yeah, so we're on to the next. We got two left. We'll go ahead and say both of them, and you just pick which one you want, Josh. So we got Zimbabwe to the future.
You spilled your beer.
Zimbabwe to the future. And then we have these damn millennials and their social media.
Zimbabwe to the future, just because that one's...
All right.
I don't know what that's going to involve.
So I think I have actually two videos for this as well. So I don't know if you guys might have seen something on this man. Is a Zimbabwe man. He's a big inventor, and he was the one that created the TV that ran on itself. So it was like a self-sustaining TV, flat screen HD TV. Need no electricity. I can't remember the technology of it, but it picked up. It uses its own like radio waves or Wi-Fi to generate energy and transmit itself. But recently, I'm going to show a video on how he created sustainable energy to give energy to a village with no electricity, and we'll pull that up. Hopefully it doesn't get glitchy.
Standard the households,
okay,
that you can power with one machine.
So where's the energy coming from?
We're harnessing it straight away from the natural energy that God has just put in the earth, on our earth. Yeah, the radio frequency.
Amidst the excitement of the first time, a couple of strangers showed up on the site where we were being shown these devices, and Maxwell, the inventor, took us aside as soon as he could and said, "These guys are from the government," and I didn't know they were coming.
The microphone we had on Maxwell picked up the conversation that he had with one of the officials. So we quickly got the tape translated and found out that the government official was promising Maxwell a power purchase agreement where the government would pay him for generating energy for the country. Although Maxwell didn't trust him because the government had already put him in prison in an effort to steal his technology.
So, what you just saw there was the Zimbabwe man that he created energy to power over 300 homes in this village and out of thin air. And I believe he's using Nikola Tesla's theory of radio waves. I could be wrong. I could be libelous there. But before we get into the questions, I wanted to just point out a couple things because I'm going to go a little different way than what people might think. So a lot of people don't know, but the electric car came out in the early 1900s. And it had charging stations all over, major cities. And it just didn't catch fire because it was promoted as a woman's vehicle. So it died out essentially because of that. But I actually even seen one of the vehicles, Jay Leno, he's a big car advocate. He's got one of them. And He rode around the guy from the My Classic Car, the My Classic Car guy that's got the big hoop mustache. Yeah. He went out there and met up with him. Yeah, I believe so. I think his daughter went
to Memorial with us. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was going to say in 1980, Stanley Meyer, you probably heard about this guy too. Might not remember the name, but he developed the water engine. And in the 90s, he was set to close with Belgian investors when they were at a diner, and suddenly he had a quote unquote heart attack. And the last words that he said was, "They poisoned me," meaning, the government. So that kind of leads me into my questions. Do you think, like with other billion-dollar companies that are covering up stuff, for example, like cancer, I saw a video where the scientist Dr. Zach Bush, he discovered a vitamin A that was used to destroy cancer, and he went to the pharma instead of his superior instead, and and they put a patent on the vitamin A that was used, and it was used as a patent blocker. And do I have a video for that? I don't know if I have a video for that.
You have one labeled Invention 2. Is that it?
Yeah, let's try that one. You can move it around.
Do you have another one for this topic?
In 1996, Stanley Meyer claimed that he had invented a water-powered car. According to him, he had made a machine that could break down water, dividing oxygen from the hydrogen, and the hydrogen was then used to power the engine. His announcement sparked excitement by many, but unfortunately, not all reactions were the same. So in 1998, Stanley and his twin brother Stefan were dining at a Cracker Barrel in Ohio with a group of foreign investors who were interested in the invention when suddenly Stanley frantically grabbed at his neck. Panicked, he rose from the table to run outside with his twin following close behind. Stanley collapsed to the pavement, his last words to his brother being, "They poisoned me." It's why they believe he was murdered, because though his invention would have been great for the environment, the oil, gas, and automobile industry didn't have the same idea.
Yeah, so that was just telling us.
That kind of leads you to believe that there's kind of like a conspiracy theory to it. So my questions to you both would be, if you're in this kid from Zimbabwe, if you're in his position, what would you do? Do you think that like these open source inventors should go public immediately, or do you think they should stay quiet and not put it out there? I mean, do you think that they're in danger of stuff like this?
Do you guys remember in high school? Well, there's a movie I think it's called The Insider with Russell Crowe. And it's funny you actually bring this up because Russell Crowe was just on Rogan's podcast this week, and I watched it. But that movie is essentially about the cigarette industry. Where, this dude was being chased, his family was being threatened and everything because he had some information that I think it was that they had like a healthier cigarette or something like that cut out a lot of the bullshit that's in them. And yeah, that guy was being threatened. And you got to think about like big pharma too. Like there's been some TV shows that have come out recently about like the Oxycontin pandemic and shit that we had, or I don't know if it's a pandemic, but where we had all that shit happen. Yeah, there's a movie and there's a show and all that.
Chris Evans and Emily Blunt, and it's kind of on that same thing. Well, and then remember we had a speaker come to our high school.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So this wasn't a better cigarette. This was just them telling people that cigarettes were unhealthy, and they were being threatened.
I think that guy was involved in. I can't remember, Jake, if it was the guy that movie's. Was it about him?
Yeah, it was about him. It was like
so Russell Crowe played this guy.
Short. Yeah.
So I think in every big business there's something like that going on. Sorry, Josh.
So
what were you saying?
if you think about it, coffee has been around for a long time. Coffee and tea, and we've known how to extract the caffeine out of those substances for a long time. And I don't I think that, you know, like we've had to have known how to extract the nicotine out of tobacco. So I feel like they could have definitely offered a product that delivered nicotine without the harmful effects of tobacco.
Like this.
Long time
like
ago.
the pouches
Yeah.
Jake and I do. Yeah.
Right. I don't know what point
It's
I was
just a
trying to
matter
get
of
at,
time. No, you're
but
good.
yeah, I feel like there's got to be some kind of truth to that, and I've always had this thought, like I've always wondered, because it kind of relates in a similar way to gas powered and electric vehicles, in that it's like it's I wonder if part of me, I don't believe this, but part of me wonders if they have prolonged the use of combustion engines and gas.
Yes, they have.
Because they know they already
Convenience.
have the technology to do the
Yeah.
same things without it, but
Yes.
they're like saving it basically. It's almost like like they're saving the technology to use it when they need it, whenever
think of these big oil and gas conglomerates that are going to go bye-bye. You know what I mean? Multi-billion dollar. I mean, like even in the 90s, I know Nissan came out with like a electric car, and you know, and they suppressed that pretty quickly, and then you know, slowly it just takes time and generations for it to build. And same with like cancer, like the cure to cancer. I mean, it might be out there, probably is. I know there are some for children, and this guy is saying that he is. I've also seen things that they say that guy's a wacko, but I have seen a video with, it was a head of oncology at like a prestigious hospital, where he was saying like at his age, he's like 60, 70 now, and he's saying like, I wouldn't go through with chemotherapy. He said he wouldn't even get a colonoscopy. And I looked into that, and so apparently there's a big risk of like perforation when you get just a colonoscopy, especially like in older age, where like they can perforate your colon, and that can kill you. And he's saying like, I wouldn't even do that. He's like, so what's the benefit of me getting that if, you know, if I do have cancer anyways, I'm going to die in 5 years, or take the risk of getting that, and then I'm still going to get put on chemotherapy and die in 5 years anyways. And then I saw another video. This was an 80s video, and you know, I didn't look into sources whether this was, you know, very true or not, so it could be libelous. But this was like the head of like the national, I don't even know, medical field or whatever, and he was saying how chemotherapy is basically a big scheme. He said 3% of chemotherapy, it proves to be effective, and basically these doctors are given incentives, bonuses for putting people on chemotherapy, all these hospitals, you know. So it's like you get cancer immediately, they want to put you on chemotherapy, and it's not even really proven to work. So it leads me to believe that there's a lot of pharma, and there's a lot of conglomerates behind everything that is just
there's a good show on Hulu or whatever that goes into this.
The main word is suppress. They're trying to suppress, like, you know, new technology from coming out, because it will destroy. I mean, think of oil, gas, think of pharma, think of if we don't need hospitals anymore. I just watched another video on, it was talking about the hotel model, where, you know, what percentage do you need your hotel to be filled at every night to be profited? And he said, now take that in account to hospitals. Hospitals are the same way. They need to fill their beds. They need sick people. So sick people is kind of what you need. So they kind of promote being sick. So they don't want it to cure you. I mean, the people that are on the boards of these hospitals to for people to be able to, for AI technology to come out to where, you know, you can get analyzed and cured that way. And then I just saw another video where, sorry, I keep going into stuff like this, but they just took AI up against 100 oncologists, I think. And no, it wasn't oncologists. It was people who studied, I think, dementia or Alzheimer's. And they had a board of 100 doctors that are in these fields, and then they put AI up against it, and AI was able to diagnose these however many patients 75%, or maybe even more than 75%, and the doctors were at like 53 to 60%. So it just kind of proves that like AI is on its way to taking over, which, you know, we've gone into AI plenty of times in our podcast, but again, that's kind of a threat to these huge conglomerate companies. You know, I mean, sorry, I went on a tangent, but what do you guys think about that? I mean, you think there's anything to be said to that? I mean,
yeah, no, I mean, I think you're right.
Scary.
I mean, there's I can't remember the name of the show, but there is a Hulu show, I think, about, you know, like I was telling you, I think it was the Oxycontin whenever that first came out. And like you watch like these salespeople going to these doctors and trying to sell them on this drug, and these doctors buy into it, and then they start throwing them incentives, and it's like, I'm in the sales world, what I do now.
Yeah.
And, you know, I know like that aspect of it, like you get an incentive if you sell so much, right? But I'm not in the business to fucking people over. I'm in the business to helping people. And like, that's the difference. I feel like these and some of these doctors bought into it thinking that they were doing right by the person, but turns out that they eventually found out that they weren't. And it's just, there's a lot to be said about all that.
They were called like social meetings. They were giving them, quote unquote, and like they were like sending them to these huge resorts, and
exactly,
they would give like an hour
like sales
speech,
basically.
and then it would just be like chaos, like strippers everywhere, you know, drugs, alcohol, and that's like legit. Like that's what it was. It was just like it was bribery without bribery to get them to like write these scripts for different drugs. And so go ahead, Josh.
I'm sorry. I just feel like this is so easily compared to like the private prison system, in that like a public service like that shouldn't be private. It shouldn't be profitable. It should be a government service that is meant to help and not profit, because once you get profits in there, it does exactly what you guys are saying. Like you want people in hospital beds that maybe don't need to be there, or you want people in prison that
There's
maybe
a quota
don't
you gotta
need
hit,
to be there.
Yeah.
And like and it goes to like the whole like okay, you put somebody in a hospital bed because you want them to not be sick anymore. So why do you put people in prison to rehabilitate them?
Right.
But our prisons aren't rehabilitating anyone. It's crazy. It's crazy.
What's another way we can build these people or send them to prison, and they have to go through these, you know, rehabilitation programs. It's just more money.
Punishment,
quote unquote,
is
again.
What it is.
Punishment.
They're not rehabbing anyone.
So I mean, are you guys kind of in agreement? Like, do you think that there is conspiracy behind like these huge?
I think there is. Every big business like that, there's some kind of conspiracies behind that. You know, the whole thing about, like Josh was saying, about how, you know, nicotine, it took them so long to realize how to profit off of it outside of tobacco. You know, it probably cost more money to extract it until they came up with some machine that extracts it cheaply. And now that they have that, then they're making all this shit. And I would venture to say that cigarette sales themselves are down a lot since you've got vapes and you've got these nicotine pouches and stuff. Like those businesses have all turned probably to the, you know, their name's not on the logos, but I guarantee you, like, you know, the people that own Marvel and stuff like that, they're probably owning some of these nicotine pouch companies and stuff
in different ways, or they're switching over.
They're behind it somehow.
Smoking's not really cool anymore. It's
not
right.
It's not.
Yeah,
it's disgusting and unhealthy.
Yeah,
exactly. But it, you know, we don't really know how bad vaping is or the Zens or anything yet. But
it'll come.
But it is a good thing that. Yeah, for sure. It's a good thing though that I feel like at least it's a good thing that kind of mindset from smoking tobacco cigarettes is changing. It's a fucking, it's an archaic thing to do, right? Like it's been proven like it's not a question anymore if that's good or bad for you.
Right.
It's like what the hell would you be out smoking cigarettes for right now? Everyone knows what a cigarette does to you.
Everyone knows it's bad. I mean,
I think it's crazy
that I'm around still smoke cigarettes at work. They're older and they're just hacking up lungs, and it's just like, that's bad for you.
I find it crazy.
I know that's bad for you. You just can't stop. You just gotta find the will to stop.
It sucks really bad for them.
Yeah, but
I find it crazy that
anyone can do it.
Yeah, but I think it's crazy that with all the shit that we do have out here now, like these pouches and shit, like there's no way in hell I want to go back to dipping again.
Yeah,
I don't want to do it. I have no. I get the same effect from this shit, and I don't need to be doing this either. I'm not promoting it, but I know that it's better than what I was doing. And like
cigarettes gross me out. But the only time I do want a cigarette is whenever I see somebody smoking a cigarette on like a cartoon or like on TV, and I'm like, because I can't smell it. I see that cherry, and I'm like, ooh, that sounds like awesome. And then I'm just like,
what's strange is the like you said, without smelling it, but to me, the smell of it without actually smoking it is what I like.
That was addicted to you? Yeah, no, I hated the smell.
Well, it's kind of like that's the only thing that really gives me that, like, oh man, that kind of smells good.
Yeah.
But the smell you get when you hit it is completely different from the smell you get as it's kind of like
coffee.
You're exactly right, dude. Josh, you're exactly right. It is weird. It's so weird. Yeah, you smell it outside and it's not so bad. But then whenever you do it, you're like, oh, this is like overwhelming.
Think about
it's
how
like
many times you think about when you were young and you smelled someone smoking a Black and Mild. Which
I was gonna say, but the Black and Mild. I was just about to bring that up. The Black and Mild is another thing. I went to the liquor store the other day and a guy was smoking a Black and Mild, and I was like, I want a Black and Mild right
It smells good.
Smells
but when
so
you taste
good.
it tastes like you're smoking a shit log. I mean, it's crazy.
It's horrible.
But the pipe tobacco itself smells great. I mean, it almost smells like vanilla or something. It's
like coffee. Like you smell coffee and it smells so good, and then you drink it. I like coffee. Don't get me wrong, but like it doesn't taste nearly like what it smells like.
No, I love the taste and smell of coffee.
I do too. I love black coffee. I drink it black.
Me too. Coffee is like I consider
doesn't mess up your
coffee
fast.
is one of those funny things that's kind of like ketchup, where when you haven't had it yet today, it's a delicious smell, but when you're done with it, it's like, get this shit out of my face.
Yes.
You know, it's just
when you've had too much. Yeah, because I will drink way too much.
I do too.
It's funny because coffee is like a big thing in our house now, and at work now I survive on. Everybody knows, like, I'll have my mug of coffee and I'll have a glass of ice cold water because I never know how the temperature is going to be. So I just like try to regulate myself, you know. But I'll get into my next question. So, do you think that we'll see a time where stuff like this does come to light and starts to be implemented, or is it going to be like a thing? If anything, I would say I might be answering for you. I think that we're not going to see people go down willingly like these conglomerates, but we're going to see AI ruin them. As far as like, you know,
I mean,
as far as like the cure to cancer, like, you know, like there, you know, there's people out there fighting the cure to cancer. You know, they're suppressing that. There's people out there fighting whether to go electric over coal and gas. You think that we're going to see that time, or do you think that's going to be a long time from now?
I think we'll see it in our lifetime.
You're asking me if I think we're going to see electric over like combustion type of energy?
Yeah, we're going to like something else is going to replace oil, gas, coal, something, you know, and these big powerhouses are going to go down.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think so. I think if we don't see it finish, we're going to see it and it's we're going to see it almost see itself through before we're gone. I feel like, I mean, cuz like I said before, part of me wonders if the technology, like the ability of it, was always there. But
Yeah,
even if it
it
wasn't,
was.
it is now. And
Yeah,
we can't pull oil out of the ground at the same rate
forever.
that we use it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not. It's just not. It's just not going to last. So it's got to change to something.
Well, I just saw a video where I can't remember what it was. It was like somewhere over east. I can't remember. I think it was maybe Libya. And this guy is I guess he's a YouTuber. He was showing like the cost of gas over there versus the cost of a bottle of water, and the bottle of water was more than the cost of the gas to fill his tank because oil is abundant over there.
Oh,
but
that was in the Middle East somewhere.
Yeah, it was somewhere in the Middle East. I think it was like Libya.
That's
I
crazy.
Can't remember. And then I also have seen in California. I know that you guys have probably seen this. This was a couple years ago. They put out, I think by the year 2050, they want like 50 to like 75%. I can't remember what range it was to be all electric or like all, what's it called? What would be the word? It's eco-friendly or
like sustainable energy.
Yeah. Sustainable energy.
That's so by 2075, I thought it was actually
2050.
By 2050 is what he said.
Okay. 2050 is what I thought the number was. So that's yeah. I don't know. That would be crazy because that's only 26 years from now. So
yeah.
Yeah,
well, think about everything that's changed in the last 25 years, though, too, man.
Yeah.
Like this world is completely different than it was 25 years ago.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's like
another
the main
podcast,
driving factor for if somebody were to say, why would you want to live forever? That would be why. I just want to see what we end up being able to do.
Same.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people. My wife doesn't want to live forever. I want to live forever. Make me a...
Fuck yeah. Why would you not?
Josh, I just watched a video with this guy. He's saying like, stay alive for the next 5 years because age reversing is going to start coming out. It'll be like an antibiotic, and he said it'll grow exponentially. So like in 5 years, they might be able to reverse your age a year. And then in the next 5 years, they might be able to reverse it like 3 years. So like you're going to like take a step forward, take 3 steps back, take 2 steps forward, take 2 steps back. But eventually it's going to be like you're de-aging faster than you're aging.
Yeah.
So we just got to stay alive at that point.
We're going to figure something out quickly whenever that happens too, because we're going to run out of room for everyone real fast.
Right. Exactly.
Well, yeah, exactly. Well, no, but right now, like there's a big depopulation of things like Japanese.
Yeah, for sure.
Their population is going down there. They actually just put out something where they are incentivizing people to come over and they'll pay you to help rebreed Japan.
I heard something like that. And that all has to do with like, what I heard is it all has to do with like, these experts years down the road know what will happen with their like
they show you the triangle
defense
thing. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about, and we're on the same path.
Yeah. So
the only race or ethnic group, I don't know what they would be called, that are like flourishing are like the Muslims right now. They're doing great, but like everybody else, like Americans, we're on a spiral downfall. A lot of Asians, a lot of Europeans, we're on a spiral downfall. So I mean, there's a good video, man. I have to bring that up in a podcast, and it explains exactly what you're talking about. It's like the triangle, how basically the baby boomers, we aren't going to be able to sustain these baby boomers when they get to the age of needing Social Security whenever our population has depleted so much because we won't have enough people to contribute to that pot. Which is kind of crazy.
The thing I heard, I don't remember where I listened to this, but it was all about like military defense and like how big the military is going to be whenever in X amount of years if the population gets fucked up. And it's just something I never had thought about was like that our government is concerned with our current population's amount of offspring due to future, because of future military numbers.
You're right. I mean, and that's another driving force too. That was one of the things is military needs war to thrive and build budget. You know what I mean? But also, I don't know if we'd necessarily be concerned about that in the future, because if we start building robots, start getting drones to go out there, for us, we could just build a infantry.
It'd be weird. Would it be weird to have like a war where it's like robots versus robots? Let's see who wins.
It's like Terminator 2, man. It's like Judgment Day.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Or like
it's so weird.
The Star Wars, movie where the droids, whatever, the Return of the Droids. Anyways, yeah, we've gone too long on this. We'll go back. We'll go into our third one.
We have another third topic for you.
And Josh, I think you'll like this. Jeez. The last one is these damn millennials and their social media. So we have a video for you, and I think you're going to like this video. I'm not going to say anything until we watch it.
Okay.
Kevin, do you know what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do, because I'm better.
What do you know about Marab?
Oh.
You make any? The whole world knows about Marab's cut.
Our guys are next level dumb.
I mean, our guys are so dumb. It's next level.
It's next level.
It's all the stuff that I talk about boxing. What I will give boxing is when something happens in a camp,
it doesn't get leaked.
It does not leak. Our
I've
guys
seen this like 6 times.
And wait to throw it up on social media. It's a small cut. It's no big deal, but obviously needed to be posted. Against a guy like O'Malley, who is a sharpshooter and who's a very accurate puncher, now all of a sudden there's a big target for him. And why the fuck would you want him to know that? It is next level stupid. Some of these guys are so stupid. It's mind-boggling. It's unbelievable.
Imagine being Marab and Dana says, some of our guys are next level. I'd be like, fuck, I'm an idiot. I'm so
Dana
glad you showed that. I'm like incredibly obsessed with the UFC the past couple of years.
Yeah, so.
For sure.
I don't watch as much as you guys do, but I love it.
Josh is really big into the UFC, and he's really got me into it. I mean, I used to watch it, just not religiously here and there. So I knew a little bit, but he's really got me into it, and I know nothing as much as Josh knows. But
dude, you knew more than me when I got into it.
Yeah, which was very little. But now you guys, you and John's conversations a lot of times are over my head. I mean, I know most of the people that you guys are talking about, but there are some people like you guys know outside of the UFC
mainstream
events.
knowledge.
Yeah.
For sure.
You guys are like talking about fights that could potentially happen and where it's going to go before they even get brought up or spoken about. And I really do love that, because it just kind of keeps me interested in it, and it makes, I know Beth loves it too, and so we love watching the fights, just hearing about all that stuff. But I'll ask one of my questions. I mean, both of you guys know sports. You guys have played sports, especially physical ones, and
me, I know sports.
You do know sports, and you would never want to let your opponent know a weakness, right? I mean, what are your thoughts on coming into a fight just a few weeks away and you just let your opponent know that you have, a weak spot right there? I mean, there's no way, like, in 2.5 weeks, it's going to be sealed somewhat, but it's not
healed.
It's not totally fused. I mean, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it's dumb.
I mean, Marab's. I saw someone today. I think it may have been Chael. Do you ever watch Chael Sonnen, Jake? His videos.
I know the name.
Do you know who Chael Sonnen is?
Yeah, he's the one who dated. What's her name? Didn't he date the girl that disappeared from UFC? Chael.
I've never heard of that before. I don't know.
Chael. No, I could be totally wrong then.
Chael tried to mention, because I always watch Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen is a middleweight Hall of Famer. He fought back in the day when Anderson Silva fought. He has a history with Anderson Silva.
Gotcha.
He was beating Anderson Silva until the 5th round, and then he got submitted by Silva. So he was so close to winning. He's an awesome dude. If you've never watched his channel, he's so funny, incredibly knowledgeable about the UFC. But he tried to claim that Merab. He's like, why would Merab post this? In 1 week, it's going to be healed. A cut like that,
it's going to take longer.
Like
than
you
that.
said, Jake, that's going to take multiple weeks.
He spread it open. Did you see how deep that was?
It's going to be 3 weeks before I feel like I can start doing normal things. The fight's in 3 weeks.
I know. Fights in 3 weeks. One punch and that split.
Exactly. I already was going to vote.
You can get popped there without that split and it pop open. Right,
you get smacked.
That's a vulnerable spot. Yeah,
bumped. Yeah, exactly. I think that's I think it's just crazy. Really, I mean, I wouldn't have posted it. No. I think it's crazy that he even put himself in a position to get cut like that before a fight that big, and potentially lose millions of dollars. And
right.
I don't know. But my question to you guys is, if you were in his position where you were going to fight for the championship, right, for the belt, he's an undefeated fighter. What is he like 13-0 or something crazy like that? Like he hasn't lost a fight in the UFC yet.
Yeah,
and he's about to fight for the belt. So
but Dana doesn't like him anyways, does he?
Dana doesn't, and you know that how he made it to the UFC
by grappling
KO'd,
on the ground and
he KO'd. You're right though, Jake. He's a wrestler. He's known for wrestling, but he actually KO'd the guy that Dana wanted to sign. This guy that Dana wanted to sign. Yes, and Dana really liked this guy.
Yeah.
Did we? He did.
I think
Rob did like
it wasn't too long.
Spinning back fist. Or spinning back elbow, randomly KO'd the guy. It was crazy. It made him, got himself into the UFC. And I think I've always thought that that's why Dana didn't like him from the start, was because he removed the fighter that he was really excited to sign. Yeah, Dana didn't expect that. And now he's like fucking 13-0 in the UFC, undefeated, about to fight the UFC's biggest cash cow, O'Malley. I guarantee you Dana wants this guy to lose so badly.
Oh, yeah. Guarantee it.
Yeah.
What
was your question?
I do.
What was your question you're going to ask?
Oh, my question was, would you tell everyone? Or...
No.
Or...
Bro, so whenever...
like you just said, he's fighting for the biggest, fight in the world in the UFC. He's fighting for that. He wants to be on top of his game. He doesn't want to know anyone's weaknesses. Like, it'd be silly to.
But would you risk giving up probably one of the biggest cards ever? Because Dana said this is a one and done at the Sphere. Would you risk giving up that spot? Maybe letting the backup fighter take it?
No way.
What do you make
and have a better chance at getting the belt, winning the title, or would you rather fight at the Sphere and get what possibly is the biggest payday that anyone could get, or anyone fighting for the title for the first time?
Kevin, can I say something real quick?
Sure.
So, yeah, go ahead, Kevin.
No, I'm fucking
dick. I mean, I wrestled after my senior year. I wrestled and I went to that Disney duels, and whenever we were right before, like the day before we left, I tore ligaments in my ankle. Like my foot went to the back of my calf. And so when we were there, I had to have it wrapped. There's no way, or I wouldn't have been able to wrestle. And when I stood on it, it felt like it was going to snap in half. But what I did was I had the trainer there wrap both my ankles. So at least, you know what I mean? It gives you some type of
That's a really good idea.
Conspicuousy, like, you know what I mean? You don't know which one of my it's one thing to go out there with like one ankle totally wrapped up, almost like cast up.
Yeah.
And they just know, like, all right, let's just wear down on this ankle. But like if you wrap both of them up, then at least they don't know. And I mean, and that's just smart. A smart physical thing to do whenever you're in like a physical sport. So like to do something like that, I think is I don't know. I think that it annoys me. It annoys me that like people immediately run to their social media and they have to. It's not even like they can't help themselves. They have to blast their shit on social media. And it's like, bro, you are a professional fighter and you're about to fight somebody that is an excellent precision striker and you're going to let him know your weakness. Why would you do something like that? So I don't know. That's just very annoying to me. And it definitely makes, I'm obviously a Sugar Sean O'Malley fan anyways, but I want him to beat him extra bad now. Just, I hope he pops it open just to make it a thing.
I think everybody does. Yeah,
And he will.
I feel like that's going to be the thing. Yeah.
I can't wait.
Oh, dude. When he beat Aljo and I was like, fucking knew Marab was next, I was really worried. But like the more I like learned, like thought about their styles and listened to other people talk about them, I'm much more confident in Sean to knock him out. Just because, dude, he's so short. He's so fucking short, and Sean is so tall.
And Sean's got the
he's
length.
so good at striking, and he's like, if you can defend takedowns from Aljamain Sterling, I don't think that Marab.
Yeah.
I mean, even though Marab's he's crazy active the whole fight, but
and
I just don't
Sean's
think
is so versatile. Sean is good on the ground too if he needs to be, but he can
and
get
we've
out.
not even seen it fully. But you know, he's competed in
we're going to
jiu-jitsu competitions.
Yeah.
And done very well.
I can't wait. I'm excited. I'm really excited for it. And honestly, like I was looking at those fights and really I know a couple other the fighters, but that main event is really the one that's gonna be exciting to watch for me. In 306.
Sure. Those top three fights are really good. They threw in 2 random ones, I think. The 2 opening fights on the main card because it's Mexican Independence Day. I don't want to say random, but less known. But those top 3 fights are gonna be real good.
They threw in some Mexican fighters
that are not as well
Makes
known.
sense. Yeah. That's probably why I didn't like recognize the names whenever I was going up through. But yeah, I mean,
do we want to move on now?
That Diego Lopez and Brian Ortega fight, the feature, which is the
yes.
That's a great fight. That's going to be a great fight. And then this, like, Valentina Shevchenko is actually my favorite female fighter in the entire UFC.
Oh, I like
she's fighting
the Andreas girl.
Do what?
I'm trying to think of the girl that I like. Andres.
Are you thinking of Jessica Andrade?
Yes.
She's like Brazilian or something.
Yeah. She looks like she's like Tina, but she's Brazilian. She's tough.
Yeah, my favorite is Valentina, who's Russian.
So she's in this 306. Oh, really?
She's on the co-main fighting Alexa Grasso. So this is going to be their like third, or it's like it might be their third fight. Grasso took the belt from Shevchenko. Shevchenko defended her title like 7 or 8 times. Grasso came in and choked her out, and then they had a rematch, and it was called a draw. It just they called it as a draw. So now they're having a trilogy, and that was last year's Mexican Independence Day, and Alexa Grasso is Mexican. So Valentina blamed on her being
that'll be a good one
Mexican.
to watch then.
I mean, I love my Mexican people, but so we're kind of pro Shevchenko, right?
I love Shevchenko, but I'm quarter Mexican in my blood. But I
know
love
you
Valentina
are.
Shevchenko. I just think Shevchenko is the best female fighter that's ever been in the UFC.
Yeah,
I mean, she's like a Russian. I mean, she knows like 7 languages, and she's a UFC fighter. She's
a badass.
Really good. She's just like a mythical fucking movie character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's crazy
goddess.
But
you would like her to destroy you, is what you're saying.
No, not
and with
me.
that,
And now
yeah,
we
she
can
would
move
destroy
on.
you.
And that's going to be the clip that we keep.
Hey, what's up, guys? So now that we finished our hot topics and hot takes, we'll get into our second featured segment. It's go ahead and play it. Cue it up.
Let's get weird. Let's get weird.
Hey, pass me them bath salts, dog. I'm trying to get real weird.
Hey,
Oh my goodness,
Kern! I thought you were just going to cameo that part. We were just going to
Yeah,
edit that out so you could
I
sing
was
it.
going to. That was the original idea, but then I didn't do it.
Just say it. We'll add it in.
Welcome. Hey, this is our second feature segment. This is Spitfire Questions. This is where we ask our special guest, Josh Kern, who is our special guest. Thank you for being with us. Random questions. We would just like to see what he has to say pertaining to these weird questions that we're going to throw at him. So we'll get right into it. We got 3 questions for you. This is the most tame one of it, but it is kind of interesting, and I think people out there will like it because I'm sure they've all done it before as well. So, first question. Have you ever rewrapped a present given to you and given it to someone else? If so, what was it and why?
Not that I
Have you ever
can.
And
regifted?
who?
Honestly, not that I
And
can
who?
remember. No, if I've done it, it was very minor, and I don't even remember. I don't think I've ever done
Really?
it.
That's good. You're a good human being.
Devin,
What about your wife? Has your wife ever done it?
I maybe. Hey, babe.
Bring her in. Bring her in.
Hang on.
We've definitely done it. I've definitely
Your
done
wife is, by the way, his wife is an angel. She's my sister Devin, but if I could see her doing this, but if she did it, it was because it was something that she could see that somebody else really wanted, and she could just do away with. You know
she's
what I
a
mean?
great gift giver too, man.
Yeah,
like, she's always
she's the greatest gift giver.
Very thoughtful.
She spoils. All she ever does is thinks about everybody. I mean, I can't say enough good words about her.
100%. The best gift giver.
But
the most
I
considerate.
agree. Yeah. Oh, she just spoils. She does it. She goes to the max. She doesn't need to do all she does because she's such a good human being.
We're wondering. They
but
asked if there's.
I want to ask you.
So they can't. She can't hear you right now. Just so you know, because I've got the audio coming through here. But they asked me if there's ever a time that I've received a gift that I just rewrapped and regifted, and I said I don't think so. I don't remember ever doing that.
I've done it.
And I think that you have. Maybe,
yeah.
but
Oh yeah, I've done it a lot.
What was it?
I have
is there
to.
a time
Tell us. Tell us. Have her tell us an instance.
I mean,
and who it was. Tell us who it was.
And that's okay. We all know she did it for a good reason.
They said they all know you did it for a good reason.
Yeah. So, okay, I remember one time I got a gift and I didn't have a Dirty Santa gift or whatever, but I'm trying to remember who got me the gift. And so I was like, I'll just give them this because it was something Christmassy, you know? Can they hear me?
Do you remember what the gift was?
Oh, okay.
Remember what the gift was?
No.
Big black dildo?
Was it a blue big black dildo or?
No.
Oh.
I've never regifted a dildo.
We regifted the doll.
What doll? Oh yeah.
She wouldn't regift that.
Yeah, Secret Santa.
Wait. Okay. She wouldn't regift what?
The big black dildo.
She wouldn't regift a dildo.
Oh no. Not after using it for sure.
Yeah. I know I've like regifted a sweater before because I'm allergic to wool. And I just didn't want to hurt somebody's feelings, so I just regifted it because I can't wear wool.
We knew there was good intentions behind everything. She's an angel.
Chase Martin's family has a big Christmas party. We've been before. And
yeah, I think I've been before.
They always do Dirty Santa. And one year, Rachel picked this ugly, scary-looking little monkey. It was about this long. And it was in a christening gown, like a white gown with like socks and everything.
That's
and it
even
was
more
so
scary.
creepy. And Josh pulled it at our Dirty Santa.
It was weird.
So Rachel regifted it.
That's awesome.
Josh got it. And so 2 years later when we went back for Christmas, we did it again.
You brought it back.
And
nice.
so I got it, right?
I think
Nice.
Yeah,
so.
but I was like,
It was a
what the heck?
It was a weird. It was like an uncomfortably weird gift. Like,
Yeah.
it was like
Do you think that
it
was
looked
a
like a
was that
monkey
a
in
gag gift
baptism
or
outfit or something.
Yeah.
was it?
It almost
gag
sounds
gift
like
or
it
was
has to be.
serious?
No, so they asked if it was a gag gift or something serious, and I think what it was is I think when Liam was really young, he saw it somewhere,
Yes.
and he was like weirdly obsessed with it as just a kid. You know, he saw it, just something about it. He just really drew him to it, and he wanted it really badly, right?
Yeah, so
But it was really creepy.
In the dirty sand.
That's awesome.
And then she was like, I gotta get rid of this. This thing is so creepy. Rachel always regifts stuff.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
We regift like if we get gifts for the kids from their
I've gotten
birthdays or
things
whatever.
before, maybe
regift
not
that stuff.
considered regifting, but like, you know, like the makeup subscriptions you get.
Yeah.
Like
I get them all the
stuff I'm not gonna
time.
use,
Wait,
I'll
you
just-
guys know? I
get them all the time.
You guys both said
My wife
yeah.
gets them.
Yeah.
No idea.
My wife gets them.
Remember I used to get the FabFitFun things?
Jess gets that still.
I got this like face steamer and I gifted it to your mom. Like I never used it, so I was like, and like random makeup I've given to like buy or his.
Jess
mom,
just got
like,
one
and
of those
I'm
the
like,
other
I'm
day.
not gonna
Ask
use
her if
it,
it's
so
like an
kind
Etsy
of
bag
regifting.
type thing.
Epsi?
Etsy bag.
Yeah, Ipsy.
Ipsy bag. Yeah, she said yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
You guys, I have
Ipsy,
no
yeah.
idea what you're talking about, but you guys obviously do.
Get with the
because
program.
My wife freaking gets it every month and
Yeah, she
spends
does.
tons of money on that shit.
I feel like I would have.
But whatever.
Ipsy bag.
I don't wear a lot of makeup.
Oh,
The FabFitFun
Yeah.
was better for me because you could choose like earrings or purses.
Yeah.
And then you
Oh,
did a
cool.
little
Yeah,
makeup,
yeah.
but it wasn't
Jess
all
just
makeup.
got a box like yesterday
It's
from
like
there.
accessories too. Yeah. I like
Next
that.
question. What we got next?
Kevin, did you
All right.
steal her box?
Well, sure.
All right, let's get into the next question. Devin, stick around for this
You
question.
drink 4?
Tell her to stick around.
Hold on, they want you to come back for the next question. No, they're not.
Because I just want I want you to hear Josh in his thought process on this one. Okay. Ready? Here's the question.
Wait.
Or
Give
do
it
you want me to wait for her?
6 seconds. 6 seconds. Okay.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Ask away, and I'm going to tell her what the
Remember,
question
we can
is.
edit all this. We can edit all this. All right, here we go. Your next Spitfire question. Would you rather have sex with a goat and no one would ever know about it, or not have sex with the goat?
Not have sex and everyone thinks you did?
But everyone thinks
Yeah.
everyone thinks that's what you're known for.
I heard this. Where did I hear this recently? Hang on. I'm going to take this earbud out.
Here we go. All right. Question is, would you rather have sex with a goat and no one would ever find out about it, or not have sex with a goat, but everyone thinks you did, and that's what you're known for from everyone else?
Everyone thinks I did. Absolutely. I don't
Josh,
give a fuck what people think.
Your morals are against your
goat
your
fucker.
image.
Yeah.
All right, so Devin's a goat
Yeah.
fucker from now on.
What about you? What about you, Karen? Nobody would know. Or do you want people to know, oh, that's the goat fucker?
Either way, you're called a goat fucker from us
Yeah,
tonight.
Yeah. You lose no matter what.
I just don't. I don't.
Wait.
Fuck
Is it
what
a
everyone
female
else
goat?
thinks.
Like,
I'm
are
not
you
fucking a
banging the?
goat.
Are you
I'm not
are you
putting my
banging the
wiener
female?
in a goat. So
Is a goat
I'm gonna have
a
to just
female?
do a
So
lot.
is that?
So,
Are you banging like
you're
the
gay.
female genitalia, or is a goat a male and you have to bang the butthole?
I'm not
I don't
banging
know.
the goat. That's.
Oh, so
I'm not banging
so you're
the
a goat fucker.
So you're a goat fucker.
All right.
Okay, got it.
So that's your new nickname.
Next question.
Now. So
I mean,
welcome to Three
Josh the goat
Bros.
fucker.
Welcome to Three
Two bros and
Bros.
one goat fucker.
they just
No,
brought you
welcome-
on so
yeah.
they could show you setting
Welcome
me
to
up.
Three Bros with
Can you
Benefits.
believe this shit?
We're your
It's two bros
co-hosts,
with
Jake.
benefits and one goat fucker.
No, yeah, or Three Bros. This is your co-host Jake, Kevin, and Goat Fucker.
This is bullshit. You guys waited till I had like 5 beers in me. You got Devin on there, you tricked me.
So
I know
mean,
what the tagline's
I don't
gonna
know.
I didn't fuck a goat, you just think I did.
Yeah, I know that's a tough one because I
It's
don't
not
think I
that
could
tough.
do it.
It's not that tough, Jake.
I would just combat. I would just combat it. Yeah, I would just combat
like, hey, look, they offered me this deal. They said, you're either going to bang a goat or everyone's going to think you did. And I chose to not bang the goat.
But you're going to spend your whole life trying to deny it, and they're just still going to think you did it. Go fucker.
You're going to have to convince them that you're telling the truth.
I would just own it, man.
But you couldn't.
Yeah, I was drunk, dude. I mean...
Yeah, sorry. I went to Duke. I was on the lacrosse team. You know, like the Duke lacrosse team got in trouble.
I do remember that. I remember that. And they found
had like a goat
in the basement
tied up, and they were making like their pledges.
God.
Spread eagle.
Gross.
I think that
Could you
happened.
imagine?
I feel like that happened in Bowling Green, Kentucky, too, at one time.
Oh, it's happened to other places.
Was that when you were in Bowling Green? Was that time you were in Bowling Green?
Yeah. I was the one that reported it.
I had heard of that before that happened in Duke. I had heard of people doing that at like fraternities and stuff. Like that was a thing. And then, you know, years later, finally someone gets in trouble for it.
45 and knowing that you put your wiener in a goat to join a fraternity. You'd probably have
you
some
go
big
back.
regret.
You go back to the fraternity and all like the young kids, they're like,
"Oh, I have a picture of the goat."
And you're 45 years old.
Wait, you're old Tom, you're the goat fucker.
Let's go, goat fucker. And you feel
get a beer for the goat fucker.
Yeah. No. Hey, goat fucker, go get me a beer. Anyways, okay. We'll get into our last Spitfire question. Instead of Marry F Kill, we're doing Marry F Snuggle, or should we do Marry F Blowy? I don't know.
Let's do Blowy.
Marry F Blowy.
That's like the same as a effing.
Marry F Kill
UFC
Blowy.
edition.
Marry F Kill Blowy.
Oh,
Marry F Kill Blowy. Middleweight UFC edition. We have Sean Strickland, Israel Adesanya.
Okay.
Khamzat Chimaev.
Okay. Those are the three?
And Alex
There's four.
Pereira.
There's Marry F Blowy Kill.
Marry F Blowy Kill.
I see. So you added one. I thought you were.
But wait. Is he getting the blowy or is he giving the blowy? You didn't.
He's giving. He's giving.
He's giving the blowy. Got it.
Okay, so say the four names over again because I'm pretty sure I know who I want to marry right off the bat.
Sean Strickland, Izzy. For all you listeners, that's Israel Adesanya. Khamzat, that's Khamzat Chimaev, and Alex Pereira.
For all you listeners, that's actually Hamza.
Hamzat, yeah. We call him
So
Khamzat.
marry Izzy because Izzy's going to be the most rich out of those four. You have Izzy, Hamzat, Sean, and what was the fourth one?
But Izzy's probably the most handsome, do you think? I don't know.
Sounds like we know which one Jake wants to blow in.
They're all dudes. I don't care who's the most handsome. The most wealthiest is getting the marriage, so that's Izzy because he's had the most. Well, I'm gonna be honest. You can think about who the bang like when you say bang. Give me the four names again. Give me the four names again. Izzy,
Sean Strickland, Izzy, Khamzat, and Alex Pereira.
I hope Sean Strickland hears this and comes after Jake for calling him a little
I know
dick
he's
man.
gonna destroy me.
Marry Izzy, and then there's marry, bang, kill, and suck.
Oh yeah, you're sucking
the
someone.
Suck is just like why even add it? Okay, so we got Mary, we got Mary for Izzy.
We just wanted to put you in an uncomfortable situation.
We got Mary for Izzy.
We've established that. Go on.
I love you, Israel. I love you.
I love you too, Izzy. Izzy's the best. Izzy's the best.
Yeshua Adesanya.
Adesanya.
And if you want to say it like him, it's Yeshua Adesanya.
Is that how he says
Sean
it
Strickland,
in his
Pajeda,
weigh-ins?
Hamza. Okay, so marry, fuck, kill, bang. Marry, fuck, kill, suck.
Kill, blow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we gave this to you.
Mary,
we handed it to you over on a silver platter. Your boys. For your boys. What are you
Jake
going to
thinks
do
I
with
should
them?
kill Sean. I think
No, I
I should
didn't
kill
say that.
Hamzat.
You kill who you want to
blow
kill,
Sean.
bro.
Oh, you did say that. Izzy, Sean, listen.
I mean,
listen.
it's,
If you,
it's already
I'm
more.
just gonna break this down to a much simpler concept. If you offer me that I need to blow somebody to stay alive, I'm gonna die. So I'm not sucking anyone. I'm not sucking anyone. I'm not banging anyone.
We'll change,
I'm not sucking
we'll
a
change it to
fucking
cuddle. We'll change it to cuddle.
Cuddle.
We'll change it to snuggle. No, we'll
Whose
change
dick
it
do
to
you
give a
wanna
naked
bite?
massage. Give a naked massage.
Okay.
But you have to sit on their back.
Mary F. Yeah, you have to sit on their butt naked.
Oh.
Like your ball, you're dangling in their crack.
Am I the only one getting a little turned on here?
The more detailed we get, the harder it is for me to answer. We've got Izzy on Mary.
We've established that one.
Suck and kill.
Izzy on Mary.
Okay, so let me go to the next easiest kill.
Just throw them at me.
Sean, Hamzat, and Sean
Strickland, Kamzat, and Alex Pereira are left.
You can't kill Pereira because he's fucking awesome. So I would kill Hamzat.
Okay, yeah, I would too. He's cocky.
Kill Hamzat. He's the only one that I can think of as not being nice.
He's cocky, yeah.
I don't know, and that's not. But okay, and then okay, so okay,
You
so
have to
we
pick
got,
them.
We got Mary
Who
and
you
Kill.
effing?
Now we
Who are you
got
effing, and who are you? Who are you giving a massage naked with your danglies in their butt crack?
Oh, I can't. And I can't even hypothetically.
Who are you
answer
docking
this.
with?
I can't.
Yeah, who are you docking?
Who are you docking with?
It's docking. It's not massaging. It's docking.
You know, you can call me insecure, but I can't answer these.
You can't answer the last two?
Well, hey, Jake, we'll just use AI to give his
Okay,
answer.
yeah,
It's
fine.
fine.
Okay,
We
fine.
have your voice.
Okay, fine. We have Mary and Kill, and then we. What benefit do I get? What's the difference? What's the difference? Flip a coin. That's who I suck. That's who I fuck. That's what it comes down to. I'm marrying Izzy. I'm.
He loves that.
I'm marrying Izzy. I don't even remember who the second choice was.
Alex Pereira.
Alex Pajeda, I don't care. Just keeping her alive, keeping him alive. So we got.
We want to know. We want to know who you're more sexually attractive at. It's because in your psyche.
Yeah, tell us.
One of them you're banging. One of them you're blow. One of them
You're blowing. The bang's got to be easier than the blow, right?
You're giving a sexy massage. It's a sexy massage.
Sexy massage. God damn it, dude!
Who's getting the sexy massage?
I can't even remember the names long enough. So, okay, so
You're down to Alex and
you have
Sean.
Pereira and Strickland left.
Izzy Mary, Hamzat Kill, Strickland and Pajeda, right? Just flip a coin.
No,
Suck and fuck. Who cares? Suck and fuck.
Strickland and Pereira.
You know what I mean?
No,
Suck
pick
or
one.
fuck.
I don't know what you mean.
We're getting into your
Either way,
psyche.
I'm traumatized for life.
We're getting into your psyche. Pick one. Pick one. We're getting into your psyche. Who wants the sexy massage?
You should suck.
What does sexy massage mean, though? That's way
Naked.
different.
That
That's
mean
way
he's
different.
naked and you're naked sitting on his butt.
Is all this going on the internet? Holy shit! All right, okay. Marry Izzy. I keep forgetting the 4 options. Marry.
Oh
we only need to worry about Sean and Alex.
I know, but I want.
Your red.
What are 2 I decided on?
Hey,
Marry
your
Izzy, and
red.
what was the
Your
other one?
bread bridge is
Kill.
taking over, bro.
Kill Hamzat.
Hobsnot. Yeah.
The other 2, you go flip a coin. I don't care.
No, tell
You
us.
should just suck Sean because it's
You're
an
too
S
drunk
and an
on
S,
Red
so-
Bridge.
Son and
Stay
Shuck,
off
yeah.
the Red Bridge.
Sean and
Sean
I'm not
suck.
answering that question. There's no.
You have to.
It's not happening.
Well, it's all right. We'll just use AI. We'll figure it out.
Is this going to be our first guest that couldn't answer? Even we've had other guests that had all guys and they answered.
I bet John Brandt would answer it.
This guy's acting too proud.
John Brandt would lie and answer.
Yes, I will.
Well, just lie then. Lie. Hey.
She got it.
What did
John,
she
we're
say?
sorry. We didn't mean to bring you into this.
I brought him in. It was my
answer these two questions, and then you just convince people like, oh, I didn't mean it.
They made me do it.
They made me do it. Who do you want the sexy massage with?
Oh my god, I can't even.
And
Okay.
Are you banging?
For
it's Alex Pereira and
sake.
Sean Strickland. Alex
He goes,
Pereira, Sean
Izzy,
Strickland.
Mary, Hamzat Kill.
Who's more?
Josh. I
He can't do
bring
it.
myself
He
to
can't
say
bring himself to do it. I love it.
Suck and fuck.
Josh,
It's
who is
hard.
more manly to you of the two, and who would you want to dominate? Because they're so manly.
Jake's already thought about this, guys. He already has his
Who's
answers.
more manly of Alex and Sean?
Yeah.
I think
and who
Alex.
would you want to dominate?
I think Alex is actually more manly. I think Alex is actually more manly, and Sean is. He tries to give off the more manly.
There you go. So you would want to dominate the manly one, and you want to sexy massage the non-manly one. So just say it.
Say their names. Say their names.
and say what you do.
I don't know what that means.
Say their names and say what you do. Say their names and say what you do.
Just do it.
This is fucking bullshit. Okay.
Jake is the only one enjoying this.
You're on this.
Say their names.
You're on this podcast.
Say what you would do. So this is documented forever in the depths of the internet.
First say, oh, and then say their name. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my gosh. That's so funny. We've gone on like 30 minutes on this just one thing, and it's funny. I don't want to give it up, though.
I don't know. You got me on the
All
last
right, I guess
two.
we could end it that way.
Why'd you have to put
Kevin,
if
can we-
you would,
Or we could have him drink another beer and then he'll answer.
Boner.
Yeah.
Blaming this all on Jake. Because if he wouldn't have thrown in the last...
All right, so wait, I got an
There
idea.
would be no choice. I would just say, okay,
We try to make it hard.
Mary,
For content-
kill these two,
wait.
and the last person gets whatever. I'm not
Okay,
saying
who's the
it,
last
though.
person to you? Who is the last person to you? Who is the last person to you?
If you had to kick one of the guys out of the mix, who would it be?
If you had to kill one of them.
If you had to kick one of the guys out of the mix, which one would you kick out? The two that are left.
What'd you say?
If you had to get rid of one of the two guys that are left, which one would you get rid of?
We
Come up with
cancel
another
anyways.
Mary F. Kill, Jake. Do you have another one up top of your brain?
Oh, no,
top of your
I
dome?
don't. I could probably
Have
think
I
of
ruined this
one.
segment?
No, not at all.
No. Oh,
It's actually
this
been
was
funny.
Immaculate. It's so good. So good.
So, Josh, take one of the guys out of the mix. Which one of the guys would you take out?
You guys didn't notice, but whenever the last time I said what, I just chugged the beer. I just drank the rest of the beer.
Nice.
Look,
that's-
when I was like, wait, what'd you say? And I just kept drinking.
Okay.
All right, sorry.
Sean O'Malley, Poirier, or McGregor.
These are Mary fuck kill thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Justin Poirier.
O'Malley, Poirier, and McGregor.
Yeah.
This is gonna be way easier. We're marrying
He knows who
McGregor
wants to fuck
for
there.
the money. We're banging Poirier because he is cute, and we're killing O'Malley, even though he's my favorite UFC fighter ever. Because look, Poirier, there's no denying that Poirier's a good. What?
You just killed O'Malley? You said
In
he's
that
my
situation.
greatest.
In that situation,
You said he's my greatest. He's my greatest fighter ever.
But he's not
and
hot, is
killed
what
him.
he's saying, Jake. He doesn't want to
Favorite.
fuck him.
Yeah,
He's my
Dustin's
most
hot.
favorite. He's my.
Josh thinks
O'Malley's-
Dustin's hot,
No.
and he's
No.
got the hot sauce.
No, that's what we heard,
Okay.
and that's what we're using.
Okay.
That's
Have-
No,
have
we're done.
you-
We've got it all. We got all the content we need.
Have you asked a female about Dustin Poirier's looks before?
Oh, I'm sure my wife thinks he's hot. I think he's hot.
I mean, I'm not. I can't say for sure. Devin, is Dustin Poirier?
I can't say for sure.
Dustin Poirier?
Yeah, you do. If you saw him,
Dustin Poirier is he's the one from Florida. He has the cauliflower ears. I remember the only reason I bring this up to Devin because one time when we were at Crazy Carl's Pizza watching O'Malley's title fight, actually. Well, no, maybe it wasn't.
Wait, time out.
No, it wasn't.
I'm changing
it wasn't time. Anyway, one time we watched.
Changing it. I'm changing it.
I'm sorry.
No, Sean O'Malley, Poirier, and Nate Diaz. Now you got to marry Poirier.
That's
He's handsome. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a handsome guy.
He is handsome.
Wow.
He is handsome.
You said, wow. Dustin Poirier is a very good looking guy until you get to his ears. And I laughed so hard. She said, wow. She said something like, he's a really attractive. She was saying it to her husband. So she's like trying to be respectful about it. But I look at Poirier and it's obvious this guy's a good looking guy. She's like, oh, he's a good looking guy till you get to his ears. And I just almost fell over in the chair. You know what I mean? Because it's like he's got these fucking satellites that go like this. Have you ever seen his interviews? They're like this, and then there's these little bitty white dots in the.
Yeah, they're just clumped up. Yeah. So, anyways, Sean O'Malley, Poirier, Dustin, and Nate Diaz. I should put both of them, Nick and Nate, but we'll keep Dustin.
That's actually
because
much
I know you're
harder
going to marry
because-
Nate. Yeah, because they're not
Because of his
as
money.
rich.
Because of his money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Nate's probably got to have the most
Dustin's
money.
got
Right?
the most money. Dustin's got the most money, probably.
You think so? Really?
I think so. Malley has probably got quite a bit, but I don't think Nate is touching them.
At the current moment, though, I would bet that Nate and Dustin have made more in their career than O'Malley, but O'Malley could possibly have more in his current.
In the future.
Yeah, like his current.
This will be our final one. So so it's Dustin.
Are you sure you can't come up with more UFC fighters that Josh wants to fuck?
Okay, all right.
Dude, this is the greatest episode ever. I love it. It's going to be forever long, too, and I love it. But people are going to love this one.
Is it 9:30? What the fuck?
It's 10:30 here, bro.
We've been on for 3 hours and 30 minutes. So,
okay.
So, hey, have you been having fun, though?
Dude, I want to come on again. I've already been trying to figure out how I'm going to ask you to come on again. Yeah.
Oh,
I know it's going to have to be in a while, but.
No, we'll definitely have you on again, man.
Absolutely have been having fun. Feel free to cut out as much as you need to make it like a reasonable episode.
All right, Josh, answer us this last one, and we'll at least be able to sign off, and then we'll ask our contest question, and then we'll.
I don't know if he knows we can hear him pee still.
Yeah, love it.
We're definitely keeping this in.
Yeah, I'm keeping that in.
Yeah, we're totally keeping that in.
So,
I'm a little concerned about his stream, though. I feel like he might want to go see a urologist about that.
I'm concerned about who wants the sexy massage. I think that he.
Dude, I think we've got our answers, Jake. And like I said, we can just use AI to like superimpose his voice, his mouth saying in the right thing that we want him to say.
Like to.
I want to suck them all. I want to suck them all off. Yeah,
I want to sex them all. Why do I have to choose one? Why do I have to choose one?
Can't I fuck them all? Oh, goodness.
Oh,
shit,
man.
he's coming back. Shh, he's coming back. Don't don't say anything.
Here he goes.
Don't let him know.
I'm out of beers, man.
Oh, all right.
Wait,
Hey,
you can hear me?
man. Hey, bro.
Yeah,
Wait.
yeah.
Hey, man.
We're not leaving that part out.
You didn't miss anything.
Okay, you didn't miss anything.
No, nothing at all.
We weren't talking about you at all.
No, we definitely
weren't
didn't talk about you when you were gone.
So let's wrap this up.
Okay, I'm
Let's
sorry.
wrap this up.
So who are you gonna fuck, Josh?
Sean O'Malley. Sugar Sean O'Malley. Dustin Poirier. Or Nate Diaz. Mary F. Kill. By the way, you look really handsome right now.
Oh, thank you, sir.
You look like Dustin a little bit, like Dustin Poirier.
Okay.
Minus the cauliflower ears.
Good. Dustin, Nate, and Sean.
So
that actually makes it makes it much harder because.
So you married Dustin
because he wants to fuck them
Nate,
all, basically.
And you killed Sean again.
No, I think who do you think has the most money? I'd say Nate probably, right?
No, I think Dustin does.
You think
he's got his hot sauce? He's got his hot wife. He's doing
hot
good.
Sauce, how much money is hot? Diaz fought McGregor though twice.
True.
You know,
and he fought. Oh, and he fought Jake Paul.
And he fought Jake Paul. And he wait.
Yeah, I bet Diaz has more money, man.
I would bet
Diaz has the most.
I would say Mary Diaz. God damn it.
I got a way easier question for him.
Okay.
Are there any UFC fighters that you would not fuck?
Yes. All of
them.
Name
one.
The question.
Because I don't think we can name one.
Mary Diaz. Who are you effing?
The next two are those two are hard. I would say it could go either way because
you could go either way too. It sounds like.
All right. Okay. We're gonna kill Poirier because I would most like to hang out with O'Malley. How's that?
You mean fuck O'Malley, right? Say that.
Yeah.
So you bang him
we'll
to hang
do
out
it
with him.
that like that. How's that?
You'll bang him to hang out with him.
No, you gotta say hang him to bang him, baby.
Say I would F O'Malley.
Jake is making me say this. I'm not saying shit.
We all know what he said.
Farewell tour. Reigning champ.
Mike, we love you.
We love you. That's what I'm saying. Jake's not.
Yeah,
Jake's not gonna make me. He's not gonna manipulate me.
Mike wouldn't make you say it either. Hey, but we will go ahead and just do our contest question just so we can get the hell out of here, since Josh has been taking most of our time.
Can't believe you wasted all our time.
I think our question is going to be if you remember watching at the beginning of the episode, we talked about the flags that were hanging up behind us. I have a Irish flag hanging behind me. Kevin has nothing. We were talking about superimposing North Korea flag behind him. And then, Kern, you watched this episode, so would you know this answer?
Don't answer
So Drew had a flag hanging behind him. That was
what was the flag that Drew had? Yeah, what was the flag
that Drew had hanging behind him? And if you know that, go ahead and comment. If you're watching this, if you're listening, hit us up at 2broswithbenefits@gmail.com and let us know your answer, and we will double over the prizes and we'll send you some more swag. And like I said, I think we're gonna get some hats made here soon, so those will be coming.
Like this.
Can I ask you guys a question?
I want to get a koozie as
well. I guess.
Anyways,
since you're the host, you can ask us a question. Yeah, that's fine.
I can just I can just text you later if you want.
Yeah.
No, but was there a winner for last week's?
There wasn't.
We were no. He won. Remember? He won
you
on
won
Drew's
the last
episode. He's the one who won.
Yeah, you
okay,
won.
Because I keep hearing Jake say that it's rolling over because no one won, but I clearly submitted the correct answer.
Nobody submitted an answer for last week's episode. The question that we asked last week. So we're recording
you submitted
now.
one for Matt's episode.
Oh, I see.
No,
I
you
didn't
submitted
finish,
one for.
I didn't finish last week's episode.
Yeah, we asked a
You
question at the
submitted
end of
one
Drew's.
for.
The week
No,
before
you submitted
that.
one for.
Yes.
No,
the
yeah, you
episode
submitted
before
one
that,
for
right?
Logan's episode. Yeah, you knew Logan's
Yes.
question.
His chest piece.
It was
yeah.
sorry for not partying on his chest.
Sorry
so,
for partying.
You'll get some swag for
That's
that.
what it says.
That's right.
It's just sorry for partying.
Okay.
We're gonna send you some cool stickers that you can put on your sticker wall.
Don't tell them what they are.
I have a sticker wall in my grow room, and it's looking amazing.
I know it looks really good. You sent me pictures.
It's gonna look way cooler with all of our stickers on there.
This has been an awesome episode. I know it's gonna be a lot longer than most people.
No, that's not true.
Watch, or I think they'll watch it because I think
they'll
that
listen.
it's just,
they might
it's
listen.
so
to
entertaining. I think that they're gonna love it. So
we're gonna edit it down to a
make
reasonable amount.
Yeah, it'll be like 3 hours and 34 minutes. Yeah. 34 minutes maybe.
But it's gonna be good, and we really appreciate all you guys. Keep watching, keep listening. Yeah, like I said, if you like us, let us know. Hit us up on the email. Hit us up in the comments, and we really appreciate all y'all. We love you guys so much, and
thanks
we
so
really
much for
love
doing
you
this
too,
with
Josh.
us, Josh.
Thank you for
You're our bro. We love you, man.
It wasn't so bad, was it? It was fun.
It was tons of fun. I didn't think it was going to be bad either. I thought it was going to be fun, and it was more fun than I thought.
That's awesome, man. Well, we appreciate you. Oh, you know what? I do have one other question for you though, before we get off.
Yeah. Make sure you ask him this.
Okay. Are you ready?
This is going to be a goofy one, isn't it?
It's a good one.
You're just going to turn it off? Is that what you're going to do? You're just going to cut it?
No.
Hello, you're on the air.
Hey, this is me. What's up? It's Kevin from Indiana.
Yeah, what's your name on the board?
Hey, I just wanted to tell you that I have a huge hairy nutsack.
Yeah, you're great. Hello.
I need to speak to our manager, please.
Tommy Z, this is Wes. How may I help you?
Yeah, hey, Wes, I need to speak to our manager, please.
Pardon me?
I need to speak to a manager, please.
This is he.
Okay, Wes. Well, my name's Sam. I was in there earlier, and I got me some of them wings, them hot wings, you know, the kind with the bones in them.
Uh-huh.
And they was real tasty, and I took some home to my dog there, and he's a prize-winning English bulldog, you see, and I fed him a few, and, well, I'll be goddamn if I don't got a pile of vet bills now from him choking on that bone, and I reckon Jens is responsible for it.
What now?
Well, I just reckon Jens is responsible for them vet bills since he done choked on them bones. Y'all gave me some defective wings there.
How do you figure that?
Well, I fed them to my dog, and he choked on them there, and I need to come in there and get me a refund.
You got bone-in wings and you fed them to your dog?
Yeah, and he choked on them, and Jens need to take care of these bills, because, see, I don't make that much money there, and I gave the waitress a good tip and everything.
Well,
Excuse me?
Are you serious?
It's not funny. There's a prize-winning English bulldog, sir, and I got a pile of bills now.
Well, look, you should never feed a dog chicken wings to begin with. That's rule number one.
Well, you know, everybody does different things. We all have our own preferences here, but I'm finna give somebody an Indian burn if I don't get me some money here.
Well, I don't know what to tell you, sir, but yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
Well, I'll just come over there and you can just meet me in the parking lot. How's that sound?
Well, that'll be fine. Come on over.
You got it, sir.
I don't know what to tell you, but that's crazy. I ain't gonna give you money back because you fed your dog chicken wings, and now you got a pile of vet bills.
Pile of them. You're damn right. It's a pile. You can be looking for the 115-pound white man with the beard and the flannel shirt. I'll be there in about 20 minutes.
All right. I'll see you then.